we're still scoping out teams' levels, and I think that's just what we're kind of figuring out, right? Nongshim did have a great series against HLE, but we're still trying to judge where are HLE in terms of the LCK Cup rankings, and how meaningful is that win over HLE. And this series is, again, just going to inform us more and more. So yeah. I think based on our expectations, this should be Nongshim pretty heavily favored. But, you know, if DRX come out swinging here, maybe this could just give us more information, more insights, and also reestablish the pecking order a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think that actually both Nongshim and HLE in my mind are a couple of the teams where I'm the most confused about exactly what their power level is. Like right now, because they went head-to-head and HLE were the big favorites there, but Nongshim took them down. But yeah, I mean, we need to see more out of both of the teams to really figure it out. Same for DRX, you know, they had some high highs, looking for more of that. We see Azir and Orianna bans here, and actually a Corki ban to come out here pretty early in game 1.
Yeah, very interesting. Jace still open and available is the one that really stands out to me. Not going to be banned. So, open and available to be picked up for Nongshim. Not going to be prioritized. They're looking at Yunara instead. And this is interesting because this is Yunara being picked game 1. We often see Yunara picked game 2, and a lot of the engage tools have been taken away. Will DRX just snap up the Jace? We're going to look to take the Ryze first and foremost.
Why not both? Ryze Jace.
Ryze Jace, pretty powerful, especially when pressuring mid lane, because obviously Ryze has a point-and-click route, guaranteed Shock Blast, guaranteed full combo follow-up. If you play something mid lane that's a mobile, and obviously you can't play Azir, you can blow it up. But actually, looking like they're not going to go for the Jace because they want that point-and-click CC to punish the Yunara. So prioritizing the Vi over the Jace, making sure they have some shutdown for Taeyun, and ensuring that they'll be able to answer him. And that means that Sponge will get his hand on the Jace in return. But this is two squishy picks, two high-priority targets that DRX are definitely going to be looking to get their hands on and to shut down when it comes to those 5v5s.
Yeah, just pretty much S-tier picks so far. Kind of just interesting to see the direction we go for both sides. We got a big smile on Scout's face here, as he might just be on Taliyah duty. Not the most interesting pick, but common answer into the Ryze.
Yeah, definitely makes Vi's job a little bit more difficult having that Taliyah there. It means you really have to commit the ult to gap close in a lot of situations. Can't just Q when there's the Unraveled Earth down. Did see obviously Faker have a great time on the Ryze into the Taliyah matchup last game. Now for DRX, do you want to prioritize an AD carry here? And they will lock in the Kai'Sa, which we haven't seen too much of so far, only a couple of games. But if you are committing to that dive, you're like, we want to lock in on these squishy targets and go all in into taking them out. Kai'Sa's definitely a pick that can follow up. I would be eliminating safety tools for Nongshim. So maybe if you're looking at things like Lulu, Braum, sort of defensive supports that Nongshim can sort of consolidate to peel, I think that would be what I'd be looking to deny. They actually banned the Nautilus, interestingly enough, which is the pick that I would expect DRX to prioritize.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Definitely pretty interesting. I mean, there's basically no engage on the side of Nongshim Red Force, and it offers, you know, an anti-dive tool and a way to get a body in front.
Maybe that's the theory, is that like you need setup for Jace for Taliyah, so we know you're gonna need engage.
Yeah.
So that's why they're banning the Nautilus. But also, DRX are gonna be diving into you. So I don't know. I feel like they probably would have just been happy going a defensive support. Poppy makes more sense as the sort of theme of supports I would expect to be banned by DRX.
Well, the Rakan gets taken away. There's no Nautilus.
Yeah, Rakan syncs well with DRX's comp, but still, I'm just not a fan of Rakan into Taliyah. I feel like it's miserable. Also, Nico hasn't had a look in at all, by the way.
That's kind of the way it has been with Nico. Like some series you see it highly prioritized, picked very early on, and some series
Kai'Sa Nico here for DRX.
Don't see it at all. Yeah, Kai'Sa Nico seems pretty free.
Yeah, that seems very good.
Honda's like, hell yeah. Give me that Nico. Let's go. No, he doesn't look too excited, actually. But he will be playing the Nico.
That seems pretty good. You know, it just seems crazy how often we see Nico ban phase 3, and you're able to get it with the second rotation bans coming through, with what your comp wants to do, and the fact Kai'Sa Nico is one of like the lanes that we saw Nico paired with originally. It's into Alistar as well, so you can have a great time in lane. They then just slam the Renekton, and it gives Rich counter pick. Even though I think we've seen Kennen tend to be like the more punishing lane, I feel like Gnar is the more safer pick because you will just tend to have a favorable lane matchup, but it feels more stable. You're that more solid frontliner. And they already have a lot of AP damage in this composition. Even if Kai'Sa ends up going like a crit build, you still have the AP damage from the passive and your W. And, you know, even though Nico is not like a damage threat, she still does a decent amount of AP. So I think going the Gnar makes a lot of sense of the situation. But yeah, I think DRX, despite the fact that we have this Jace, Yannara, which are these great picks, I think DRX pretty happy with what they have. They have tools to close the distance, and they can kind of just explode these squishy champions on the other side.
Yeah, to be honest here in game number 1, I think DRX kind of got everything they would have liked. As you mentioned, like the Rakan, I don't think they were even having their eyes on that one. The Nico seemed like a very obvious ban. Maybe they knew that Andil wouldn't be comfortable with it. Like, maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into Andil's facial expression. But, like, Kai'Sa Nico is very good. Extremely good.
Maybe he was confused why they didn't ban Nico.
Yeah, he's like, do they have something up their sleeve? Like,
are they disrespecting me?
Yeah. Maybe he was pissed because of that. He's like, they're really giving me Nico here? Yeah. Really?
Do they have an answer, maybe?
Well, I'd like to see Andil pop off, but we'll have to wait and see in game 1. Alrighty, game number 1 here, match 16.
Mikal, dodge it, dodge it, dodge it. Okay, Sponge didn't throw it. Don't want to give him free gold. I am a big hater of the Jace Shock Blast ganks with the first strike.
Everybody should.
Very angry.
Everybody should be, I think.
Yeah. If you're gonna gank, right? I think this is like, it's an unspoken code, right? If you're ganking as a jungler, you're trying to kill me as a laner, right? And if you fail, you know, you fail to kill me, fair enough, right? But you're at least trying to kill. I hate when junglers gank and they're not trying to kill you. They're never going to kill you. They're just harassing you. You know, you walk in my lane, shock blast me for first strike proc, and just ruin my laning phase. That is just rude, right? It is not, you know, it just bothers me. It is. Well, so
I think specifically when it's so non-committal, insane amount of range, extremely accurate as well because it has a really nice AoE. And so you can just be farming the jungle, like you finish your Raptors and you're like, hey, I'm just going to show up mid and pick up some gold. And now all of a sudden my mid lane has a ton of value. Like he's very far ahead now because I showed up for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like you out-trade 3 times in a row mid lane, and you're like calculating like, oh, I'm challenging for this, yes, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You're like, oh, I'm up 150 health because I haven't used my health potion yet, and I out-traded here, and then he just shock blast you, and you're like, oh, never mind.
Everything immediately changes.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
It's just, it's not very interactive, you know? We like our ganks to mean something, to have a little bit of risk.
Yep.
Right?
We do see bot lane getting heavily zoned out, and this is a super early recall from Jiwoo for a Cole. Already had enough gold for it, so yeah, just snaps that early buy up, investing in it. Obviously, having the Alistar into Nico, you're never really having lane prio, especially not early on. This is kind of, you know, we talked about this a little bit the last series, but having the Nico, the ideal lanes are when you're into a melee support. And, you know, we talked about how, like, things like the Lulu would feel really nice into the comp DRX has. And would be able to trade better into the Nico, but they felt like they needed the engage to set up, which makes sense for the Jace, for the Talia. But especially into Nico. Nico loves playing into melee engages because you can just harass for free. And she's only really held accountable by range champions, stuff like Karma, stuff like Lulu, who can actually trade back in return. Which is why she's really dominated back last year when we were only seeing engaged champions in the support role. And she could engage, but also harass. That really obnoxious combo.
Didn't feel very fair for the Alistars of the world.
Yeah.
Although the Alistar was picked into this.
Yeah.
Obviously for more than just the lane. And it's going to be
a good amount
fun.
of picking the Alistar for out of lane. Guys, you know, I'm a glass half full. They lowered the gold value on cannon minions.
Nice.
Right? It's not as big of a deal if
Calculated.
cannon minion. No, it's still bad. Just less bad.
He knew it was less, so he was like, it's fine.
Yeah, a little bit less bad. Still not good.
How do you feel about Taliyah in this meta? Because I feel like every time we see her, she just doesn't do nearly as much damage as every other top-tier pick. And she obviously provides a lot of setup and utility, but it just feels like a lot of our games are being decided by, like, Taliyah and an AD carry with, like, a tank jungler. Obviously, in this case, that's not the case because we have Jays.
Not seeing a ton of opportunities to roam, you know. They've done so many changes to, like, minion waves, right? That have kind of, like, limited the ability to roam. And I know that didn't really dissuade them last year when they did those. But especially now with, like, how incentivized you are to stay in a lane for the extra...
No.
Sponge! Especially with how much you're incentivized to stay in lane just to keep your passive generation of the quest. I feel like you're not getting as much value of the Weaver's Wall in other situations. But I still think she's good if you have the right team comp with a setup, right? There's a lot of champions that really can get punished by that. We've seen like Pantheon still be very good. Pantheon Taliyah is great.
And look at this.
And into a comp like this with a lot of shorter range picks, I think she has good value. Oh, they are trying to set up here.
Yeah, the timing on this gank, just as we're discussing this, the flash comes in, Renekton and Taliyah is there, and so is the shock blast from miles away. Rich is just dead.
Okay.
Already had flash. There's first blood given over to Scout.
Yeah, nice pickup there. Didn't even need to use the Weaver's Wall. Now, Hen's overstepping a little bit, but should be able to fight them off. And this is Dragon picked up for DRX in return for that play on the top side. Also, got to note that Rich had just TP'd up there, so suffering a good amount from that. That being said, home guards are very strong, so it's not the end of the world. But has fallen a little bit behind in that top matchup. He was zoned off from all this farm. I mean, it's just the weirdest time because he's just come out of Mega. Nowhere near hitting it again. And he was kind of like, do I walk up? Do I not walk up? The answer is you don't walk up.
I mean, we just saw a Gnar Renekton matchup where the Gnar did get bullied a little bit early on, but then eventually took over the lane, was very annoying. And our Renekton player in that game, who was perfect, wasn't having a good time. Because he either had to lane into Gnar, who had an item and a half, or Faker's fed Rise with plated steel caps is what perfect built. So it was not a fun time. But it just means that, Rich, you know, you gotta kind of be aware of the timings and be ready to back off and sacrifice some farm if necessary. Andal's like, I'm too fast. This is too obvious.
Oh, the home guard's messing him up.
He's like, come on. Like, I'm just trying to be a fake minion here. All right, let's see if we see any pings. Well, a little bit aggressive was Andal on that one, so not a lot of time for Scout to react, and a nice little trade comes in.
You know what the thing is about Nico? So they've actually changed it. So there's different numbers of minions. Do you know how they sped up the minion waves later in the game? They also changed the number of minions.
On cannon waves.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's like less casters. So there's a melee missing from cannon waves after 14 minutes.
Yeah.
And then all waves are missing a caster minion after 30 minutes. Oh, we're seeing a fight here.
It's before 30 minutes, but still going for a very aggressive invade here as Lehens is here. He is level 6. But we do have Andal in a really rough spot. He is going to flash and get that Nimbus Cloak and trying to walk it off, and that he will.
They're out, it's actually great that they got out of that. Because that means I can continue my Nico point.
Yeah, continue. Please.
So yeah, after 14 minutes, cannon minions missing a melee, and after 30 minutes, every wave's missing a caster, which means, because people are used to like the same number of minions in a wave.
We're going so aggro here again with the Dominus. I think Rich is just fine.
Yeah, he's fine. So I can continue my point, is what you're trying to say.
No, you can't.
No.
You has to ult away, but Taeyoon's just running him down. The barrier is there, and the flash comes out finally, but it's too late because the damage has been done, and Taeyoon just straight up solo kills him.
Snipes him at the end with that, finds a great angle, and Taeyoon just hunting him down. And this is a big win, getting your Yunara fed early. I mean, all the point I wanted to say is that, you know, people are used to the amount of minions in the wave, and it's gonna catch you off guard now.
Yeah.
Different.
Not if you're really far behind at 30 minutes.
What do you mean?
Well, like Andal tries to pretend to be a caster minion after 30 minutes, right? When they're removed.
Yeah.
But they've already lost the game.
Oh, right.
No.
Yeah. I mean, if they've already lost the game at 30 minutes.
Well, here's the setup from DRX. This is what we wanted to see, and King will get punished.
Okay, they find a play. Yeah, I feel like, you know, you try and make a, it's like when you try and make a joke and you explain it, it's just not, you try and make a point and then it gets interrupted 3 times, and you're like, it was just
So what was your point anyway?
It was supposed to be like a little point just about little minion Nico changes, and then stuff happened, and I'm like,
yeah,
what even was the point of me saying this? Yeah, just disrespecting the ult power from the Yunara. It's a huge power spike. I feel like kind of akin to Zeri, where you really have to respect it. And Taeyoon just finds that angle all in. Even had the barrier still available. Obviously didn't need it. There wasn't a turnaround damage, but...
Also, I think the fact that Taeyoon flashed first shouldn't happen. Like, Jiu should know he's lost the trade. He will die if he gets flashed on, even if he flashes after. So he's like gotta flash early.
Yeah.
To say like, okay, I need to take less damage, I'm gonna flash early.
Also, the fact he walked on the inside line of the turret, like, we all knew the W was coming. When he walks between the turret and the wall, we all knew he was just waiting for the W cooldown, and then when it came, I was like, okay, you're dead.
It's like a bowling alley. Like, he stood right where the pins are supposed to go. He's like, all right, here comes the bowling ball.
It's like a bowling alley, except instead of a bowling ball, you have a laser the width of the bowling alley, which I'm pretty sure isn't legal. If you try and do that at a bowling alley, you will be kicked out.
That really does.
And probably arrested, if I'm being honest. Although, I think they'd struggle to arrest you if you had a laser, so, you know.
Well, maybe they have their own lasers.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to make a play here with Ghost Alistair. In comes Lehens, forces the flash. He is Alistair, so he's just going to press R and get out. Meanwhile, another 1v1, and this time Jiu doesn't have flash. He's just dead. There's no getting out of that. And he just put himself in that position. He's just dead again. And now Scout is here. He's going to get the knockback all by himself. And Yukal, no flash. He used it earlier against Ghost Alistair. That's 2 kills for Nongshim. And Andal barely gets away. Nongshim are running this map.
This should, you know,
Okay, Scout. He's here to send a message.
HP. Oh, so close to finding Andal there. But yeah, that really shouldn't have happened. Jiwoo going down the first time. The second time, a little unforgivable at this point. And Taeyoon going to be extremely strong already in this game. And now Willa is trying to threaten.
Not with Lehens there.
Yeah.
No smite, no problem for Sponge. And it's 3,000 gold plus at 11.5 minutes. Although today gold leads are fake, so we don't even have to consider that.
So here, Lehens trades his engage for Yukal's flash, and then Taeyoon just walks at him again.
Well, he was hiding on bush, so.
The wall does, funnily enough, knock Taeyoon's laser from hitting Andal. But then I also like that Taeyoon doesn't dash forward here, doesn't want to get engaged on by the buy. But Yukal doesn't have flash, obviously just being it a second ago, so he goes down. This was unfortunate. Scout trying to catch Andal, doesn't quite have the damage. The clone blocks a little bit, but you now have this 2-0-1 Yunara with a 1,700 gold lead. And I'm a little concerned because, you know, I talked about the fact that you have these squishy carries that you want to try and kill. Well, now they're fed, so...
Yeah.
And also, it's a multi-threat composition for Nongshim, so you're going to have to commit a lot of resources to take out these threats, and then you still have other threats to deal with, and your Kai'Sa is falling behind very quickly.
I thought you were going to say falling apart. I think
too.
both are true at this point. Because Taeyoon has declared the bottom lane his.
Yeah,
in this game.
Don't want to see Jiwoo just walking up to Taeyoon again and dying.
So in that last one, I think he didn't have vision in the brush, but he walked into the river to put down a ward, and found Taeyun. And
Yeah.
he was like, oh, I'm dead.
So there's this neat feature with Kai'Sa. You can actually ult to join fights, so you don't need to walk into the river and face check. Yeah, it's pretty neat. So you could do that instead.
Well, they're trying to steal the red buff. Not going to be successful yet, but Andal going to get a 3-man knockup. The follow-up is there as well. The Fine goes in. The damage not quite layered, and Taeyun survives basically forever. And finally, Jiu going to press that R button and does get the shutdown just to immediately die. As now the wall is coming down, Sponge and Scout do want more. Then double engage comes in from Lahens, gets both of them, knocks him down with a stun. And Noshim are just rolling them here. The top laners still top laning, but a huge team fight win to Noshim.
And that one just feels so rough because it was actually a really good engage, but I think there's two issues with it. One, you're far behind. And two, why didn't you TP your top laner in if you're the one setting up this play?
Yeah.
You know, you're not actually has Mega as well. If you're coming this play, couldn't you set it up so he joins? But ultimately, even with the big engage, Jiu has to ult in just to trade 1-for-1 with the super low health Yanara. And you've already lost your Vi, so it's just cleanup on the other side. Yeah, this is the issue. You kill Yanara, you're like, cool, we engaged, we found the AD carry, you were super fed. Okay, but everyone died. It's not worth. And now Nongshim have a massive gold lead. And Rich is kind of just top lane.
Yeah.
Having a time.
Top laners are top laning, and they're not part of this game, really, outside of that one kill they got onto Rich. And I guess Kingen died the one time. But yeah, they used so much to get Taeyun. And then Scout's there, relatively in a good spot himself, has his wall still in full health, full mana, basically, and just chases them down with an Alistair in tow. Didn't feel very fair with Nongshim this far ahead. So now 4,500 gold, and Nongshim, oh no, not again, okay.
And then the thing is, we haven't seen too many fast clearing junglers in the LCK. It's been a lot of like the same meta we've had for a while. But I feel like with the jungle quest changes that we've had, if you get a lead and you start farming quickly, you can just power farm and get so far ahead. You know, you get the extra golden experience after your quest is completed. You see this lead that Sponge has, and he's so far ahead in gold. He now has the biggest lead in the game. And this Jace is just going to really snowball super hard. I think Jace is like the only farming jungler that we're really seeing. Obviously, he's been banned a ton, so we're not really actually seeing him played that much. But, you know, there is some play of stuff like Ambessa, who does farm pretty fast, but it's mostly just the Jace. And in solo queue, it's a lot more of these fast-clearing junglers that are seeing play. So,
pretty much every game.
A bit of a divergence between what we're seeing in the LCK and what we're seeing in solo queue. But Jace definitely one of the picks that has bled through and working to great effect right now. 2-level lead over Willa. Well, I guess it's like 1 and a bit because Willa's nearly level 11, but this Jace is starting to do a ton of damage. And with him having so much poke and DRX's comp being shorter range, you kind of have to engage. That is your answer. You get poked out, and the only way to stop it is to engage, but with you being behind, you have to find a good engage. Like we saw, Andal got a great engage earlier, and it wasn't enough. So you basically have to find a phenomenal engage, or you just lose the fight. And like they're starting the dragon now, but Rich's Mega just timed out. So
Mega just timed out. The Rift Herald is dropped in mid.
That's a huge shock blast.
And there's a wall coming. So Yukal chunked out. It comes down to just an easy smite for Sponge, as Willer was not there. Now he's going to be going in. We got the flank coming in from Andil. They do take out Sponge, but what about the rest of them? Taeyun just dying on the left side by himself. Kind of out of reach of the rest of this team, and now Scout and Kingen trying to put 2 and 2 together and do enough damage in a 3v5, which is honestly kind of close. Willer here on the right side. It looks like he might be isolated, and maybe a little bit of food here for the side of Noshim to pick up, but no, just the dragon for them.
Yeah, honestly, all things considered, they didn't get the dragon, but the fight itself was pretty good. It was a good engage from Willer, getting back over the wall, getting onto Sponge, and this is kind of finally seeing what DRX composition wants to do. You'll see that Willer gets forced out, flashes away, but look at the angles that end up coming through. Andal getting this long flank here. They get on a Sponge, and Taeyun actually manages to dash out from the pop blossom, but Sponge just dies outright. Taeyun gets focused down. but they don't have any more gas in the tank to really deal with either Scout or this very tanky Renekton. So with the gold discrepancy, they can't finish this, especially when Kane gets that massive cold leak, which just does so much work. But ultimately, it's still a pretty good fight from DRX. I think the only sad thing is that they didn't get that dragon, but that's the theory of the composition. They just have to do that a few more times.
Yeah. I mean, Flash held by Andal, I suppose. Now Sponge a little bit in a wonky spot, not even going to... He's just sprinting through the jungle. They can't catch him.
If the boomerang hit, maybe.
Yeah.
Also got to remember that the jungle quest now does give extra movement speed, so... Ow.
Yeah. And it helps you do stuff like that, too.
I mean, I think that's just him.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, like, he can farm faster now, so he can get his items faster, so it helps him do stuff like that. A couple of turrets are going to go down here for Nongshim. They just take DRX's turrets just like that. And now we got a deep TP coming in here from Meganar. He's pretty far away from the rest of his team, but he's got a Kai'Sa. They're trying to burst down Sponge, and they will be able to do it. And again, Taeyoon is left by himself, and he has to flash the boomerang. Meanwhile, Scout's just in the top lane pushing.
See, they get the flash from Taeyoon, which I think honestly is one of the bigger takeaways from this play. Because even though the kill on Sponge is nice, it doesn't really translate to that much. It's just gold. And again, gold's never bad, but they can't really get much in terms of objectives. But the flash from Taeyoon, I think, is really the tangible thing that you're going to look to in that next dragon fight. So I like the TP. I like the setup from DRX, and I like that they got a summoner from it, because I think if they'd only gotten the kill on a Sponge and nothing else, this might have felt a little bit unrewarding.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't think they got much of a shutdown from Sponge, if any. But yeah, that flash. That flash is one I'm going to be looking to in the next fight, especially since Andal has his flash. I think Willis is going to be back up as well. So...
Oh, we got a little play here on a Scout, who is all by his lonesome on the bottom side, doesn't have his flash, and even that little shield's not going to help against the two of them.
That was a big shutdown, though. That was a lot of gold. So that feels good in and of itself, you know. That was a lot of gold going over to Willa, which hopefully he can buy something nice before that next fight. And it's nice that DRX are getting these picks, clawing back the difference in gold. That time they didn't get any summoner for this next fight, but it's just finding these angles and doing what that composition does, right? Getting these picks. It is a fragile composition from Nongshim. You know, they are vulnerable when isolated. And I think it's a composition that does require more sort of control in comparison.
Finesse.
And, you know, more finesse, yeah. You know, Nongshim did have a pretty solid lead. It is literally impossible for them to have the biggest throw of the day. That's just never going to be possible no matter what.
Yeah.
But it is possible for them to have a pretty big throw from how this game has started. So we'll see what DRX are able to do.
But nothing compared to what we've seen.
Nothing compared.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
People won't remember if Nongshim throw this game. They will remember what happened earlier.
She was gone dusk and dawn.
And Coach Voice is utilized by DRX. Joker's like, oh, that's an interesting tech.
Yes, this is the Sheen item that gives you double pass, well, double on-hit procs.
We're just doing the Baron, by the way.
So this does mean you can stack your passive very fast.
Yeah.
But does mean you're lacking the Nash.
They have a lot of damage on this Nasher, though. As now the engage comes in, Sponge is late for the smite, and the engage from Andal gets Sponge again! And Taeyoon, once again, they don't quite have the damage, though. They might be able to finally take him down, even through the exhaust. Jiu will take him out. Scout now. We're going to take down Jiu, and it looks like Kingen on the flank will be able to take down Jiwoo. But still, a Baron did go over to DRX. They're going to force that flash away from Yukao. And the biggest thing here, I think, even besides the Baron, though, is that Nongshim might just get this free Infernal. As we have TPs coming in, they want to contest it.
Yeah, I think that's the major thing. More members on the map right now. It's slight advantage to DRX because obviously they have the Baron and 2 members still. They have a bit more gold, you can see from the Red Bull Baron power play. But I think losing the Dragon is too big of a cost. They weren't able to close out the fight in the aftermath. And now Nongshim are on Infernal Soul point. And with Infernal Soul, with a Jace,
even if he keeps dying, it's fine.
나르가 미드라인 받고 이거
가야죠, 가야죠.
화이팅.
Well, he was saying some stuff, and they were talking about Baron, and then he was like, fight.
Nah can get the mid lane and try for Baron. I think it's possible,
Yeah.
is what we've been informed they were saying. So, coach is suggesting the Baron was a play. They did explode Sponge, and then this Realm Warp to move them was nice, but Jiwoo ends up getting flipped here. The Hen's knock up into the Scout flip, and he was just so low. He nearly takes out Kingen here, so close. If he'd actually killed Kingen, I think this play really is salvageable, because Kingen can't TP back in, and we end up in a kind of different scenario here, because him being able to TP back in is really what secured the Dragon. Now, yeah, DRX got a sizable amount of gold on the back of the Baron, but can they translate it into more in terms of structures? Because that looming threat of the Soul is very relevant, and gold is nice, but souls do feel very threatening, especially an Infernal Soul in a game like this. So you see DRX trying to get control of the river right now. Summoner check. Do you see Scout's flashes down?
Well, these guys do not have their flashes as they're getting engaged on by Lehens and his Alistair. And very tanky is Yukal on the rise. They're going to fight Sponge again. This Jace cannot survive for any amount of time. As now the damage isn't going in onto Jiwoo. He has that angle on the back line and just absolutely decimates them. We do have now the Realm Warp to come on in. Andil says hello, lands the root and dies, but he did his job as Lehens sticks around as well. And it's an ace for DRX.
I wasn't sure who was going to take that Realm Warp, and you know what? Andil was the complete right choice, because everyone was so low, and they just sent Andil in like, you're going to die, you're going to make it work, and he did. So this was an aggressive play from Nongshim, and DRX make it work in return. Yukal gets focused down, but he's quite bulky. This ult from Willa, and Yukal getting the damage off in return is massive. The fact that Yukal survives here, Jiwoo flies in, and the ult, the CC from Andil got a lot of value. Jiwoo's able to free hit, and then Nongshim are limping away, and yeah, they send the Nico in just to die and land a root, and it totally works. So well played here from DRX to navigate this one. And they're really pulling this composition off. It's a hard comp for Nongshim to make work. With DRX, it's C champion, kill champion. And I think Nongshim are just struggling to execute on the finesse of their comp. You know, the Jace needs to land poke, and they're just trying to make engages happen.
They're trying to hard engage, and like Sponge, I understand his plight because he's playing Jace, who normally is pretty short range outside of the Shock Blast, obviously. But he gets a big Shock Blast off, and then he's like, okay, I want to do a little bit more damage. I want to get in there. I can't just sit in the back line and only accelerated Shock Blast. So he tries to auto once and instantly dies.
Yeah.
And it just feels like he's always in range of the Vi ult, and outside of the one Shock Blast, he's not doing a whole lot except dying. And Jiwoo goes in, gets the bait with the Zhonya's. I don't know if it's going to pay off, though, as they try to turn. He's able to flash out of there, and he gets the kill onto the Renekton as well. As now we got the Realm Warp follow-up, and it looks like Scout is not long for this world. Gets taken out. At least Sponge is able to push the wave, as it looks like mid lane is not going to be where DRX will get their push.
That was such a crazy engage from Jiwoo. And you know what? Sometimes great engages, there's a thin line between, you know, madness and and greatness, and he definitely was treading that line and making it work, right? Baited so many cooldowns, and the rest of the team were there to follow. He did end up going down, I think, clipped by Sponge. I think a Shock Blast maybe from him. We'll see the replay here. So he flies in, everyone jumps him, and he uses the stasis. The team are there to follow. Sponge jumps and knocks him back, and then, yes, snipes him here with the Shock Blast. That's what takes him out. But he bought so much time, so many cooldowns, and let the team funnel in. It's a crazy play, but it worked.
오케이, 다음번에 안 들어갈게.
Okay, next time I won't go in.
I mean, it worked. You know, you can't fault it, right? It worked.
He's like, all right, guys, sorry. But yeah, it worked. I don't know.
You know,
maybe a little bit too much expended.
If we're going by outcome-focused assessments,
yeah,
it's a one-team fight. So, you know what? Permission granted, Jiwoo. Do it again.
Yes. Onx has given you permission.
This time you have Flash as well, so extra permission to do
Zhonya's not up yet, though.
Hit a W. No, Zhonya's not up. Yeah, you're correct. Wait for Zhonya's and then do
soon.
it.
And now Kingen, I mean, they do so much damage, he just has to engage. It's a smart idea, but now this ult is going in on the Taeyoon, and he's just taken out immediately. Jiwoo does insane damage at this point. and takes out Scout, and I think it is just too far gone at this point. DRX are rolling them now. Even after that very one-sided early game, it does not matter. DRX now looking at another Baron.
And it just feels like, especially with how this game started, like, we're going to be completely honest, Jiwoo was having a terrible game with being run down by Taeyun multiple times.
Slow start.
Early on, and he is just finding angle after angle. This game was in a terrible state. Again, not even close to the biggest throw that we've seen today. But in any other day of the LCK, this would be a big throw. And it still is a big throw right now with how it's looking. They just beeline straight on Yunara, and this is a harsh reminder why we don't normally see Game 1 Yunaras. It's normally a Game 2, because we see a lot of the hard lockdown thinned out by Fearless, and things like Vi not on the cards, because it has been a problem that they just haven't been able to resolve. Willa just presses the R button, and Taeyun can't play the game.
Yeah, it really is that simple. If they were farther behind and the threats were actually threatening, then yeah. As, okay, this time Willer is kind of in a rough spot. Andal goes in by himself. This is not the cleanest fight, but at least he gets punched, and again, Taeyun just melts. And, yeah, he's just gone. I don't think Scout can do nearly enough. DRX are just way too far ahead. They absolutely roll them. They might just end the game.
It looks like it just doesn't even matter how the fight starts. DRX are all going to just fly in and win the fight. They are just all on the same page. It's just see champion, kill champion, right? Anyone who shows up in front of them is a target, and they will just take them down. And DRX, they bounce back. They had a pretty significant 4,000 gold deficit, but they know what that composition needs to do, and they're going to make it work.
There you go, 30 minutes. The comeback is real, as DRX will win game number 1. Definitely not what I expected, especially after that early game. This was looking all Nongshim all the way, but eventually they're able to get it close. A couple of nice close team fights, and eventually Vi just presses the button on the right target, and the Kai'Sa flies in, and somebody dies. And it's enough.
I think sometimes, especially if you're struggling in terms of your team, you know, trying to figure out your synergy, right? You're a new roster who've put some new pieces in, start of the season, start of the year. I think sometimes it's simpler just to play compositions like this, Kai'Sa comps, right? You have a go button, your Kai'Sa has a follow-up button, and you know what, credit to you, Cal, every time a fight started, he was just like, I'm realm open. I don't know who's going in it, someone's going in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, who's taking the ride? Someone is. Someone's going, and you know what? Usually someone was taking that ride and taking the realm warp into the back line. You know, you don't normally think of Rise as being like part of a hard engage comp, but he really made it fit in. So credit to them. A great comeback from DRX there.
Pretty gigantic. DRX up 1-0. We'll take a break and have the space. We'll be right back.
여기 쓰는 게 나을 것 같아.
얘들아 여기 우리 벌써 너?
괜찮아. 나 가는
맞을래 다시 맞을래?
네, 가자. 싸움 좋다. 제이스 유나라 봐야 돼, 제이스.
나 아래 갈게. 아래 살짝 봐줘. 아래 갖고 아래 맞을래?
좋아. 탈리아 노플.
나이스.
바텀 끝났네.
답판하자. 아, 나 쐈는데.
그냥 얘들아
버스
무조건 이겨. 오케이. 야 그냥 우리 후반 가면 이기니까 천천히 하자.
아니,
앞뒤
버스
급발진하지 말고.
아, 근데 뭔가 내가 너무 센 선이었어가지고. 아, 내가 초반에 좀 쐈어.
잘했어.
나이스.
라인전 되게 잘 돼가지고 나.
And the game before that. Sometimes you just want to keep it simple. You just want to make a composition where you just click your buttons and they take you to victory. And don't overcomplicate things.
Yeah, and Gold's leads are fake. And
yeah, a little bit.
Nothing matters.
A little bit. So maybe the thing I'm trying to get at is comps that are complicated and require, you know, specific setups, and you have to play around, you know, posturing and landing this poke and doing these complicated. No. Just you know, Varus Band. Yeah, he's one of those champions. Just let's click some buttons, let's kill some champions, and win the game. Okay,
It's that easy.
I think it's that easy, right? So we see the Varus and the Ambessa band. Last draft, we saw Corki and Pantheon bands. They've been left open. I do think with Talia gone, you know, the Pantheon prio is a bit higher when she's open and available. That is an Aurora first pick. Now, I don't have any issues with Aurora, but not something we often see first picked.
Yeah. I mean, we have Ryze and Talia gone, so maybe saying, okay, we can pick Aurora, it's flexible. It's a decent mid laner that's still available.
She is the highest prio mid with Azir, Orianna, Ryze, and Talia gone in terms of like how much has been picked.
What were those two bans that were banned in Game 1 that weren't banned in Game 2?
I think
Pantheon and Corki.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. They're looking at the Jarvan. I feel like Jarvan prio a little lower just because you're into a Corki who does have a Valkyrie to get out of Cataclysm, but, you know, they're still looking to commit to it. And they will lock it in. I mean, me personally, I feel like Jarvan value skyrockets when you know your target is locked into that Cataclysm when they don't have flash. And you only know one of the carries in the team, and he isn't. So, not super convinced so far.
Yeah, and the two champions you're looking at are like, they really do not care about Jarvan. Like, even if you're stunning Pantheon, eventually he gets his E up. You got to commit to get in melee range of a Pantheon. It doesn't feel great. You're not going to lock down the Corki. Now, Zahen does come out here, and that's kind of going to lock our lanes for Nongshim as well.
Yep, seeing the full topside lock-in for Nongshim so far. So, does mean DRX can only answer one of the solo lanes here. And it is going to be the Gwen that they're picking up here for Rich. So, definitely something that can scale up to be an absolute menace in the later stages. We've seen it definitely pop off in the hands of some of our top laners and be a bit of a pain point. So we'll have to deal with that one. And especially I feel like Nongshim so far, you know, you have the Jarvan, you have the Aurora, picks that want to go in and dive and be that threat. Now have to deal with the fact that you might be going in and suddenly there's a Gwen on your backline causing problems.
Yeah.
Not so fun. I feel like here, DRX can just thin out the AD carry pool, having already locked theirs in. Going to start off with the Ezreal ban, eliminating some of the safety for Taeyun here. Ari going to get taken away as a mid lane pick for Yukao. So trying to limit some of the picks I can get outside the Cataclysm. I guess Akali still an option.
Yeah. Akali's sitting up there on the list of stuff that is still available to be picked. Looking through the list, I mean, Silas.
Not so fun into
but
Aurora.
Yeah. Cassiopeia? They got banned once, played once?
Don't think we'll see it, personally. Don't expect it.
Yeah. Might have to dig a little bit here for you, Cal.
Yeah, I think another mid lane ban might just be a shot in the dark at this point from Nongshim. So maybe a support ban. And they do go for the Bard here. Which I think Bard has so much value into Jarvan, because I already talked about being able to dash out the Cataclysm is big, but being able to just stasis everyone in the Cataclysm is also very frustrating. So the Bard will be taken away. And probably just going to pick up the mid lane here for DRX. Yukao, what are you feeling confident on? Into the Aurora. Can be a bit of a lane bully into some matchups.
What's it going to be? We get the nod. It is Akali.
Okay. Can be one where, like Akali does in the most matchups, you just kind of soak up the harass, with your Doran shield, with your second wind, and be a threat later. And it's an instant lock-in off the Kalista Renata for Nongshim here. So, you know, we're dealing with the Gwen and the Akali. Going to be tricky for them to take out these two picks, but Andal was toying with the idea of the Blitzcrank, which is good into the Renata specifically. Poppy less so. So like, Poppy's good into Kalista, good into Jarvan, right? But like into a Kalista Renata lane, it is miserable. It is just not fun.
Yeah.
It's like you're just standing there watching until someone stands next to terrain. You just literally just laser focused until the Kalista hops a little bit too close to terrain, and then you're like flash stunning and hoping you have enough damage to kill her. Which, to be honest, you don't, because it's Kalista Renata, right?
You never do.
And they're just going to shield the Kalista, and then the extended trade, Kalista has more sustained damage than a Corki, so...
Yeah, and I feel like in team fights also, like, yes, there is Jarvan, but he's really the one guy who's, like, kind of committal. Feels like everybody else, I guess Zahen as well, it just doesn't feel like the highest value Poppy game I've ever seen. Like, you can see some of the value, for sure, but I feel like with what was available, like, we could have seen something better.
I think there's a lot of dashes. I just think you can't be proactive in lane, and later on, it just really depends how the game shakes out. There's a lot of people you can shut down, but I just think it's a miserable existence in lane. And especially when you're paired with a Corki, Ju is just going to kind of be at the... He's playing lane 1v2 for the most part in this situation, so good luck to him.
Not too different from the first game, except now he's got another opponent he's got to deal with. DRX versus Nongshim. Game number 2 starts now.
You know what, Brendan?
Yeah?
I think I spread some misinformation. I lied a little bit. I said Poppy wouldn't do anything and would just sit there in lane. That's a lie. Every so often, she throws a little buckler out. You know, every so often she'll throw a buckler and either CS a minion with it or maybe hit either Lehens or Taeyun for a little bit of damage. So, my bad. That does occasionally happen. So, not nothing.
Yeah.
Not nothing. A little bit of buckler.
I assume, you know, occasionally can use his heal.
Sure, but I don't really attribute that to any champion can do that, you know?
True.
You could play a champion with no actual abilities and you could still have summoner spells, so I don't really say that's like a Poppy thing.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So they've got this bottom lane where they're kind of...
As you can see, bottom lane, it's going well so far.
The bottom lane is the lane itself is a bit of a disaster. The mid lane also early is not going to be fun.
Oh, Andal, buckler, there you go.
He did it.
It was shielded. It was shielded. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
He did pick it up, got a shield, and then immediately lost it.
Yep.
Which I suppose shielded some of that damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Akali's not having too much fun early on. The Poppy's not having too much fun. The Gwen seems alright.
Yeah, Gwen's doing okay.
But not a lot of setup for Willard to make stuff happen. You know?
I think the thing with the Pantheon is that you have a lot of setup, right? Yeah. And also, they're going to be perma pushing bot lane, so should be able to wrap around. The one concern is now...
Why is like 0 health? We just look body, doesn't have any health.
Wait, how did that happen?
I don't know. He must have gotten hit into the wall or something. Right? Like maybe Andal actually did something.
Did he take a tower hit?
He must have. He didn't flash or anything though, so it wasn't bad enough that he got to a spot where he had to flash.
I'm so confused.
Well, there was no kill, so maybe we're not going to get a replay.
We'll never know.
And Taeyun just backs and comes back to lane, so it's not the end of the world, although they do lose a little bit of pressure. Andal is mid lane.
Also, Sponge was going for an invade. Oh, we get a replay.
What? 2 turret shots!
What is it?
2! I love what did. Oh, man.
You know what? I am being so serious right now. I was thinking through every possible thing that could have happened. And I never for a moment thought that could be it. He just walked in front of the wave and took 2 tower hits.
Yeah, now what did is dead. So
yeah,
that's the outcome. Hope you're happy, Taeyoon.
That's how Lehens feels on the inside after that.
Yeah. Ripping pepperonis.
That's crazy. That's actually so crazy. I don't
It's okay.
know. Yeah.
It's okay.
I mean,
They come back.
It does kill a little bit of that momentum, but fortunately it is such a good lane that it's still fine, you know?
You got to go back and buy boots and refillable.
If this was a more even lane and it was a more active support than Poppy, he would have just died. I'm not even kidding. He would have just flat died on the back of that play. So, you know, Lehens takes a little tower hit there. He shields. It's okay. But I'm very glad we got to see that clip because I would have wondered forever.
Yeah, that was a great replay. Thank you, production. Also had Wolf in the chat explaining what happened, and then we immediately got the replay as well. Andil has a shield at least, was utilizing that buckler. Just takes a beating off the back of that. The tempo heal comes through just for extra harass. And the pain continues.
You know, everyone talks about the tempo heal. Nobody ever talks about the tempo buckler, right?
I wonder why. I wonder why, Ox. Sponge is going to start this up. The second it spawns, then he's not.
You have a lot of freedom to do what you want here. They're posturing for a dive. Poppy pretty good in dives. Actually, this is the place where you can defend against this, and Willer's here.
Willer's here.
You don't need to do this, I'm just going to say.
Well, they're going to send it. Jiwoo, he gets that barrier. He is going to get knocked up, and there it is, first blood. 2 kills for the Kalista. Sponge also survives from all the turret shots he also took here. Okay. Willer not able to do a whole lot.
You know, I said you don't need to do it. They pulled it off. Credit to them. They made it work. They get a good reward. Both kills on the Kalista. Neither of DRX's bot lane used flashes, and also Willer just didn't get in range in time. I thought he'd maybe like flash Q to snipe Sponge. He also didn't quite have his ult. But a successful dive. I think bringing in Scout was the big difference maker. Having the mid laner there as well really contributed. But I was a little worried that was going to backfire. And you know what? Credit to Nongshim. They secured everything they needed. I'm not sure if Lehens used the bailout though.
I'm not really sure
how that we will get a see.
How that happened. Andil is top lane. Now there's really no wave stacks, but Kingen is quite low, so
and his passive isn't stacked.
Yeah, there is a way to pull this off. And now you know the ranged minion stuck here right before the turret. He's able to get another wave in. There is certainly a Zahin in danger right now.
He feels very dead.
And you know, maybe Nongshim can get a dragon off of this.
I think the only way. I think he's probably just dead. I think he's just dead.
Yep, flash on in for the engage just to make 100% sure that Kingen could not flash it.
Yeah.
And that is easy.
He is just dead.
Now, Gio is he's still not having fun. He wasn't having fun regardless of if Andil was there or not. So probably a good idea for Andil to roam, as long as Gio is not getting dove.
Yeah, he's lacking the buckler support right now, so...
You know, I think that's okay.
I think it's...
I want to say it's working.
It's not contributing that much.
I think he can do without the buckler.
Okay, well, you know, your word's not mine. Oh, but the buckler action's back. Andil's here. Don't worry, buddy. I'm here to help you out. There you go.
There it is.
It's so cute as well. The little bear.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It is a good one.
You know, supporting is more than just helping you in lane. It's moral support as well. It's keeping you upbeat and happy.
When you play support, is that what you do for your teammates?
So anyway,
I see. Sometimes the questions that aren't answered are answering more. Everybody already knows. It's fine. We do have a Pantheon in a little bit of trouble here. Willer against 3. We do have Andil and Yukal making their way over, but Willer already super low. And so Yukal and Andil didn't really want a full commit there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a freebie, to be honest. Just able to pick that one up. Didn't even need to use the Cataclysm. Also, I haven't seen this Jarvan skin before. Do you know what skin it is?
No idea. I haven't seen this either.
Yeah, I was like, what champion
Maybe it's a new
is
one.
that? Yeah.
It could have come out with the, you know, the new season, the whole Demacia theme and stuff.
It feels almost...
It is Jarvan, after all.
It is Jarvan.
The guy who screams Demacia.
Oh, yeah, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If there was one champion that would get a skin
Yeah.
from this, it would be him.
Doesn't Garen do that as well? Where's Garen's skin? Oh.
Maybe Garen did get a skin, but Taeyeon is in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, that looked painful. Good pickup there, though, from DRX. Able to punish that with Lahen's not being present. Not really much counterplay there for Taeyeon. And Jiwoo getting a bit of gold back in return. So the gold lead not that significant in the bot lane. And actually, top has the biggest lead in the game. And that's a Gwen. So a little bit worrying.
Yeah, I mean, Rich got that nice gank from Ondil. And he was doing pretty well before. Also, Kingen got denied a wave after the gank. Spun's gonna go ahead and take these grubs here. The needles are coming out as Kingen is going to flash most of it. And is now maybe looking to get on in here. Is down a level. So he's just not going to go for it at the end of the day.
Yeah, struggling a bit in this matchup at the moment. Especially Rich at level 9. Gets a lot of power with the Q-Mast. And just the ult as well is such a threat. Now with Lahen's and Taeyeon back in lane, got to put down the hit in the bot 2v2. Even with the fact that Jiwoo got a big influx of gold, just not enough really to change things. But there's the buckler.
Yeah. He's helping clear the wave, you know. And no engage here this time around.
Oh, we might see a fight in the top lane.
Only 13 CS, honestly. I thought it would be more.
Is it like a Halloween skin? That looks like a...
I don't think so. It looks like Red Void, but I don't know any skin line like that. So I'm not sure. Yucal really not having a great time here. And he's going to be denied his back once again. So actually the mid lane gap in CS and gold is much larger. Helps that Scout got that free kill onto the Pantheon, as Willer was just kind of hanging out in the mid lane.
I think, is this it? Is it Nightbringer Jarvan?
That does look similar. Like the spiky nature of it kind of looks similar to what we're looking at. But it looks pretty red in the game, so I'm not 100% sure.
No. I don't think that is. Why am I so... I don't know.
He has to know.
I'm obsessed now. Someone should just tell me. Why don't people know this information? Brendan, why don't you know?
Someone please tell
the
Ox.
play-by-play. You're
so we can
supposed
move
to know
on.
these things.
No. We know the skill ability names.
You didn't even know that.
If we're good at
I
our
asked
job.
you last game. I asked you last game what was...
Hey, I knew that Sejuani's one was Glacial
But you didn't
Prison.
know Lissandra ult, and I asked you that, and you said, I don't know that.
Lissandra.
Oh my...
Well, I mean, we sometimes do. We see Sejuani a lot more.
Tell you what, you can make it up to me by knowing all the skill. Oh, coach voice calling in, telling us the skin names. That's what they're using it for. That's a good use.
Yeah, where's our
voice.
coach?
Yeah, where's? We need
Cast a coach voice, man.
They just call in like, guys,
Need help.
Guys, stop talking about the Jarvan skin. No one cares.
It's a cool skin. I just want to know. It kind of looks like he's got this long cape on, you know.
Kind of looks like Morgana. With
Yeah,
the big
or like
long...
Vex.
Honestly, last series kind of ruined us.
That wasn't supposed to happen, man.
Yeah.
That game too.
13k gold throw.
Almost
Wow.
14k.
Yeah.
13.9. So Nomshim got the Ocean Drake. It looks like they're going to get the Chemtech Drake.
I mean, they're a little bit ahead, but it's just not sizable. It's a little worrying.
It's going to be Hextech Soul. It is.
Oh.
There you go.
Wow, good job.
I can see the future.
I mean, when you think of it, with the fact that you know the two removed souls,
Yeah.
there's a, what, 1 in 4?
Yes.
So,
Is this your first time thinking about that?
no, it's just I'm stating
Oh, okay.
it for everyone who's watching.
I see.
Everyone thinks you're a crazy predictor.
I thought it was pretty obvious.
I'm just
Let's
trying
listen
to,
in here.
I'm just trying to slander you.
오케이.
시간 끌면서 시간 지연시키면 우리 무조건 이겨 얘들아. 시키지 마. 야 지금 칠라한다. 나가보자. 나 위에서 할게. 공부 수 있거든 이거. 뚫는 것만 봐봐 얘들아.
I mean,
Well, all I can
he's
say...
talking so fast and there's echo, so I can barely understand. I think he said we can't fight a dragon. That's like the one thing I think I heard.
Well, what I can say for sure is he did not mention the J4 skin once. So,
there was no mention of J4.
yeah, did not help in that regard. So, still searching on that one.
So, it looks like, look for the Poppy ulti.
Play slowly.
Don't give Dragon easily.
Well, they did give Dragon.
Just try not to die, I think is another thing that I saw there. And also play slowly, just in general.
Trying not to die is good advice, generally in League of Legends.
You know, if I were a coach, that probably would be something I mention at least once.
Yeah.
Try your best not to die. Make sure you kill the enemies, not your own teammates, and try to get their inhibitor.
Oh, what?
Okay. All right, we got another TP coming in, actually.
Oh, they really want them.
They really want to get in here. UCal is in, and there's really no more room for them to run, as there were deep wards behind them, and they absolutely got punished.
Did Lehen say something in all chat or something? Like, what warranted that response? That felt personal.
Worth? I think so.
Well, they lose plates mid, they lose plates top, they lose
They get
Herald. They do get
plate
plate spot, yeah.
They deny farm from Taeyoon.
And they actually don't even get Herald, so that's
Yeah.
pretty worth.
I'd say absolutely worth. And DRX now more than 1,000 gold ahead.
And
Scout.
also, you have to remember the extra factor. It's about sending a message. Oh, and they do get first tower, that's pretty big.
He sent a message. Cataclysm is going to come in. Andil does not have flash, but he is Poppy. So he's going to send Lehens back to the Shadow Realm and just be on his merry way.
DRX looking good in this one as well. And honestly, with Nongshim falling behind with Calista Renata, I'm a little concerned. So Andal, I'm not sure what happened with these double flashes. And then the Renata ult looks like they've disengaged. And the thing is, I think if they just ran to the turret, they would have fared better, but they try to run up the lane.
I guess they didn't expect that
Also,
deep ward.
where was the bailout?
We got a little 1v1 here. Kingen is going all in onto Rich. And he's taking a whole bunch of damage. The Grim Deliverance does come in. And meanwhile, we got a fight here in the top river over the Rift Herald as Jiwoo gets in there and does a ton of damage, but now puts himself in a bad spot against Scout. And now in the 1v1, we are going to see Rich does win that, as going back in on a UCal, he gets burst down. Willer goes in by himself, and that is never going to work out. As Andil, trying desperately to be useful, puts up a steadfast presence, doesn't do a whole lot. But yeah, Nongshim feeling pretty good about that top side fight, at least.
Yeah, good on the top side, but it feels really bad that your top laner got solo killed by Gwen effectively twice, right? You know, died, rezzed, died again. It's now a 3-0-1 Gwen who has a 2,000 gold lead. Look at the gold differences between lanes. Rich is the only one with a gold lead, and it's bigger than everyone on Nongshim's gold lead combined. So. Yeah. It's a Gwen, so it's a bit concerning here. The dash gets interrupted by Taeyoon, but they all kite back. UCal can't get a huge amount of value. It's a good handshake. And then Jiwoo went in very aggressive, so has to flash out. But it's a step too far here. Sponge dashes in, dips out, and then Willer gets caught, and it's like, okay, you're temporarily tanky as Pantheon, but not really.
Okay, well, they're trying to kill Scout here once again in the side lane. Lehen's trying his best with a hostile takeover to help him.
That ult was just kind of like, now kiss, you know?
Now kiss. And now we got the engage here on Andil. He's in a rough spot, honestly. He doesn't have his flash. Willer's as well. Does get the ult off, but Taeyoon is here. The shield is up. Willer trying to continue this fight, and now Rich, who is gigantic, is trying to take on this Callista, and the return of the team does come in, but the Needles get him after the bailout. At the end of the day, though, Nongshim do have control over this Drake. Should be able to take it down for Soul Point.
Yeah, I mean, it's super scrappy, but Nongshim managed to get the dragon, and that's the main thing. Taeyoon getting a lot of value on this Callista. And these fights, I just feel like struggling to really get the consistent damage down for DRX. You know, Taeyun took so long to go down, able to rack up those spears and get the bailout this time. Now has a second item as well. He's pretty strong. So we'll see this one playing out. I actually think Sponge got a good amount of value here. So gets an ult onto 2, and even though he gets knocked away, you know, Taeyun's now moving in, getting the spears down. The ult ends up buying time when it hits onto Rich. And then Taeyun actually gets the res from bailout, but dies anyway to the Needles. But everyone's so low in the aftermath that they can't do more. Andal's fishing for something here.
There is so much side lane aggression from DRX. They're looking for all these picks.
I think there's just so much
as
aggression.
a team. I mean, it's like always Andal and Willer together. This is going to be spotted. Go ahead and spot them with that ward. Gonna throw down a pink as well, just say get out of here. So no more aggression in the top lane at least. And it's kind of a close game when you look at the gold, but you know, one dragon away from a Hextech soul. It's not like the Giga Hextech soul comp, but it's still the best soul in the game. And okay, we got a little all-in here from Scout, who might regret his decision. Takes a bajillion damage. Just the bailout, though, as the Hens gets there. And yes, Willer will shut him down, but it's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Gnome
Oh, and Kingen stopped the TP.
Yeah, he did.
I'm not sure Rich would have wanted to follow that TP. As strong as he is, he would have just TP'd into 3 people. But still, I think Kingen made the right call in the moment to just stop that one. It could have gotten messy. Kingen definitely on the back foot in this game, but he knows what his job is. Keep the Gwen at bay. So we'll see this replay. Again, the bailout not actually keeping people alive, just extending their existence here. Scout lives a little longer. Forces Willer to commit a bit more. And once again, Nongshim come out ahead. Still such a close game, but it's those 3 dragons in pocket. Nongshim approaching Seoul. And I just feel like so many of these fights, the Gwen either isn't able to get value or isn't like fully involved. And she is the only one with a lead on DRX.
We haven't had a real straightforward team fight yet. Even that one in the bottom river before the 3rd Drake, it was like Andal got caught and he used steadfast presence late. He was low, he left, and then like Rich eventually got there. As now Scout, he's really not enjoying his existence here in the side lanes as continuously getting ganked. DRX will not let their foot off the gas pedal.
Yeah, not sure they're going to be able to translate this into anything, but again, just picking kills, you take those.
It's about sending a message.
It's about sending a message. It's about getting some gold. Top laners are looking a little scary in this one with the level advantages.
Level 12. He's lower level than Sponge.
Yeah, he is not so... Ooh. There's a TP coming in. Yeah.
All right, just flash and press R. That's better.
Why not?
No needles available here for Rich, so eventually, even in the mist, he's trying to do his best and pummel down Sponge, but I think it's just a little bit too much.
That works. Just do that, you know? We'll pretend he didn't mess up the flag and drag combo.
That's fine.
That wall's really long anyway. Yukal now level 13 though, you know, making some progress. Just hasn't really been picking up the farm as much as you'd hope. I do think if you look though, right, so Scout is about 20 farm up on Yukal, and Rich is 20 farm up on Kingen, so I think we're seeing where some of that difference has gone. Oh, they're just starting Baron.
We got Coach Flows from DRX as well. We got a one-on-one here. Scout in a bit of trouble. Yukal going all in as the flash comes out. But meanwhile, Nongshim going for this dragon, taking a ton of burst and poke damage, rather. And this engage from the Hens is not going to work out. The hostile takeover does hit onto Willer and catches the 2 of them. But now Taeyun with the bailout on the left side should be able to take out Jiu, and there it is, but immediately dies afterwards. That's the 3rd time that's happened in this game. But no Baron this time.
Yeah, that was not the super controlled Baron start you'd hope to see. But, you know, a lot of flashes been as well. We have Dragon in 30 seconds, and they've been a lot of summoners there. I'll turning off that. King and Flash down, and Scout as well. But they did get Jiwoo's Flash, so that's something. They do need to get to this side of the map, though. This is Seoul, right? So they weren't really forced to start that Baron, but, you know, why not? I think is the message of the day. Now setting up for this objective. They don't have the hostile takeover. They don't have the Kalista ult either, or the Zahen ult. So a lot of cooldowns have been burnt. And it's just going to be a 5v5.
Yeah. 80 carries get here.
Rich is level 16. He is very scary, so watch out for him.
Yeah, he's the scariest guy in the Rift right now. But it's Kalista Renata still, so in an extended team fight where Taeyun's actually dealing damage, putting a lot of Ren stacks up, and getting value on the Kalista still could be very nice. So we'll have to wait and see how this one does pan out. Rich has a nice angle on the right side, cleared out a ward. UCal is on vision on the left. So they're really trying to spread this one out and tear Nongshim apart, who just wants to stick together like a team.
See UCal threatening on the flank, and Rich too. If they can get a pincer here, it could be so devastating.
You can see that Nongshim knows about this. They don't want to commit, as the ult is going to hit nobody from the Poppy. They're trying to isolate him, though, on the left side, and no bailout comes out. He's just dead. That's no 80 carry for Nongshim now. Kingin, in a rough spot, is going to go into that passive sponge. Can't really do all this by himself, though. They're trying to get on top of Rich, but he just flashes the wall. And the knock into the wall here from Ondil is huge. 880 gold goes over to UCal, and they should get this dragon.
Yeah, able to stop the soul coming through. So much damage done by Rich, and I think Lehens was inside the Kalista ult, so couldn't use the bailout on Taeyun. He just goes down. The angle of approach from DRX there was so good. Oh, well, it's half his health, but he's still alive. Dragon denied, soul denied, importantly. Almost see that again.
Too.
So the angle of approach here is the main thing. You can see Nongshim just kind of have to retreat backwards because it's the Pantheon ult over the top. The double angle of both the Gwen and the Akali. Taeyun gets jumped on, sucks Lehens in, and then he gets thrown out and can't bail out in time. So isn't able to save his 80 carry. And it felt like that initial attack from DRX was so powerful. And even though there's some return damage, even though Willow goes down, it's just not enough.
It was not meant to be on that fight. Nice setup there from DRX. I was saying right before it started that Nongshim had a pretty good idea of what was coming, but you know, they were trying to stick together like a ball, but eventually they got torn apart anyway because there were so many ults flying at them, the Pantheon, the Poppy, and also the flanking Gwen, that they couldn't quite stick together and handle all of that pressure. Yeah,
it's hard to do, but I think they need to have people playing on the flanks and like blocking. Like if Scout can prevent, it's really difficult, right? If Scout can like poke UCal out on the flank and stop him getting in, but the problem is he kind of just like flash ulted in. So if they just say we're going and like circumvent you, I don't know really if there's that many answers. Especially when you have this really fed Gwen who is very problematic. So it was a hard one to deal with the approach they had. It's still not a huge gold lead for DRX, and it's still Nongshim one dragon away from Soul, but every sort of fight you win like that is such a big win for DRX when they are in this delicate position.
It's a pretty nice gold lead that they have, about 2,000, but still very much on a knife's edge in this one. We do have a third item for both of our 80 carries now.
We're also seeing both going tanky options.
Yeah.
So Jackshow we definitely see from Kalista, but it's normally a little bit later. We normally get things like the Terminus coming through, then Jackshow. But also we've seen this build before. I think Dockdown went last year, like a Bruiser Corki build, where you kind of end up with like 4,000 plus HP, and you still have a ton of AD, a bit less pen and crit, but you know, if you are being threatened by all this burst and engage, you kind of just have a ton of AD and health. You are just a bruiser, right? You're still going to do a lot of damage, just less crits, less big autos. But you know, I think there's a lot of 80 carries that you can go bruiser builds, and it can be really obnoxious and really good when you are being threatened and jumped on in games like this. So I think it can make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it's a good call from him. And we're waiting for that third item for UCal, for him to really start bursting people down. I do wonder where this next fight is going to be. Probably just over the next Drake, because at this point, every Drake is a must-fight.
Baron's so difficult to convincingly take.
Yeah.
I feel teams, they're kind of like, oh, we're going to do Baron. No, you're not. Not really.
Even with Kalista, even with Taeyun, you know, they tried. And it was like...
Well, I think the problem is
rough.
DRX's damage on Baron is pretty weak. And Nongshim are the team who are more inclined to start it, but they're on red side, so being trapped in that pit against the DRX composition, and considering the enemy jungler is a Pantheon who can just always jump into the pit.
And you're just all grouped up for Poppy to like somehow get value.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing. So I don't think we're going to see many sporadic Baron starts in this game. Oh, we are seeing...
the Dragon.
There was like 7 pings that came in like a second there.
Well, we're going to have this Poppy ult hit something as the Jarvan goes flying, and now they're going for the engage. The hostile takeover is going to get onto, but not this Gwen, as Lehens is trying to peel against the Gwen. Nobody can deal damage to Richie's getting low. Finally, they do take him out, and he was the main member that they were looking for, but UCal able to get 2. We're going to pick up a bit more, and finally that Bruiser Corki does go down, as 80 carries are out of the fight, and Willer kind of by his lonesome here on the top side. Eventually, he should be going down.
You know, honestly, a lot of discipline from both 80 carries to not end up flashing. It's actually DRX who maintain a ton of summoner spell economy for this next soul fight. Although I'm not sure they're going to be up in time, is my main concern, actually, more than anything.
Yeah, we saw a lot of pings on the Dragon there.
See a replay, so we get one knock away here out of the Jarvan. And then here, it's really unfortunate for Taeyun because they actually end up getting the kills a bit too quick. We see the Gwen focus down. And Rich dies, and then the bailout comes through, so he doesn't get the reset.
Yeah.
And even though they get a good amount of kills, yeah, Willer's still dead. Unfortunately, all of Nongshim is up, so even though they're down, they lost a ton of flashes.
Well, I guess they're just going to do Baron?
I guess. But it's Hextech Soul. I think Nongshim are fine.
They haven't even started it yet, and this Soul is already gone.
Willer's not up, and he doesn't have ult.
Yeah.
So,
no, they're not doing Baron.
Yeah. Feels pretty bad for the side of DRX. I don't think you're too bothered about the fact you have 5 flashes.
Yeah. I think Scout now is in a supreme position to just burst anyone out and also slow them for anyone on his team to follow up really easily. So going to be looking at Scout to be doing some big work here in this late game. They're trying to set up around the Baron now. And again, they tried this much earlier on, and now they're in a even better spot with this Hextech Soul. Like, yes, the gold is basically even, but it's a lot of value that Nongshim just got.
I mean, Hextech Soul is so suffocating against the short-range comp. And the fact you have things like the Aurora, and even just the Jarvan throwing a flag can just, like, slow down a whole team. It's so
steal your Gromp. Now, Ando's got to be careful about... Okay, they're trying to TP flank, actually, so enough about being careful. They just want to get on into Scout, and he's going to get supremely low, but they take out Jiwoo on the backside of that fight, and they get Ridge. And it's really only UCal that is a damage dealer that's left here on the side of DRX. As Nongshim, they don't get everyone, but they get enough to go for this Baron.
Yeah, I think the big thing as well is Willer, no flash, no ult, cleared off miles away. He's not going to be able to contest for the smite. So Nongshim going to be able to secure the Baron off the back of this. And feeling pretty good with the outcome. DRX try and force this aggressive fight. It just doesn't pay off.
That just felt a little bit too forced. I mean, the TP was coming in, Willer was going head first, but you're right in the center of them. And G was just like dead so early on in this fight.
The hostile takeover got so much value. Hit both the Gwen and the Corki, and Rich just killed Jiwoo, basically.
Yeah.
Honestly, they were kind of killing each other. And then Nongshim just slid in and helped clean up. So that was massive hostile takeover value. And we often see cleanse into Kalista, into Renata, sorry, but didn't see it this game, and really kind of Jiwoo happened to pay for it. It's also so often that we see like an 80 carry and someone else being in the hostile takeover, and the 80 carry does tons of damage to them, but they don't do that much damage back. But specifically a Gwen meant they were just equally pummeling each other. So yeah, Lehen's getting a ton of value there off the back of the ult, and now Nongshim with Baron. And this is not the best team for dealing with a Baron up lineup, because I think DRX's best response is just to engage, but they have anti-engage tools, they have, you know, the Hextech Soul, and it's hard to find these angles when, you know, you're lacking the flash on Willer and UCal. Willer kind of has to just ult in. They do have a ward behind, I think, so I think they're going to cheapy do that. They're pinging it out.
I don't know.
Yeah, there we go.
But they got to get multiple angles. against the Renata specifically, as Willer's going to go in. He's got a shield right in front of him, and Kingan's going to zone the rest of the team and nearly just take out Gio all by himself. Gio has to barrier and flash, and he's still going to go down. Bit of a disaster, but DRX tried their absolute hardest to make a fight work. And Notion say, we are just better at this point in time. As Rich, not even that far ahead anymore. Kingan was able to catch up by this point in the game. And with that, they should be able to push spot and win this one.
Yeah, Scout did a great job in this one, keeping Yukal at bay, not letting him approach on the flank, keeping him accountable. And also Lehens with the Renata getting so much value in these fights. So they will be able to equalize the series. A scrappy game again. We're going to be 1-1 between these two and taking us to the game 3.
Yukal gonna try his best. Here comes Zondil, but no ults and no health bars anymore. Down will go the Nexus. Notion brings us to a game number 3. And what was a closer fight this time in this game number 2. A little bit less swingy than game 1.
Yeah, I mean, game 1 was back and forth, right? But game 2, I feel like as well also, but just volatility. A lot of volatility in this series. And I think, you know, I was hoping we'd get more data from this series, and we definitely are, but it's just still so hard to judge the level of these teams because it has been a lot of back and forth. Both of them, definitely things that they'll be talking about now going into this game 3 to reflect on. We saw a lot of uses of the coach voice. Well, the coach is going to be using their voices right now before this game 3 because you look at how strong Rich was, you look at that gold graph, and I think DRX is going to be a little bit upset they didn't manage to close that one out. Scout having a massive impact, but also Lehens, the hostile takeover in that fight around Baron, massive value.
Well, you got a Scout fan. He's not the only one. And they're going to be happy after that victory. Scout doing an immense amount of damage in that one, over 1,000 DPM to win out game number 2.
Those are great vibes.
Yeah, that's a nice little dance there. Let's get him on the stage. Let's go. Guys, it's 1-1 between Nongsum and DRX. We'll be back after the break.
아칼리 일단.
아칼리 한번 때릴게. 아칼리
맞은 중.
아칼리 볼게. 아칼리
됐다. 얘네 앞으로 뚫어 앞으로.
판테온 아칼리 아칼리 이탈이야.
앞으로 뚫자. 맞대.
아 빠질 수 있어.
한테 잡았어. 봐봐.
나 좀 멀어 형.
웬
보자.
보자. 웬 노플.
왼 보자.
앞으로. 나 EQ 2초. 노플이야. 여러분 할게.
나이스.
Piece of the equation that's escaping them.
Bit of a problem, that one.
Yeah, that is, honestly, if you're going to be lacking something in League of Legends, that is not what you want to be lacking. Winning generally is a big measure of success in this game. So hopefully they can bring it out in this game 3. Win here would be pretty massive for them. And also for Group Elder, they keep the scores neck and neck for the time being. We fly into draft with an immediate Silas ban coming out. A little bit interesting and indicating they want a Malphite first pick.
Yeah, I just don't know if they're going to get it, to be honest. It has been Nongshim that has been banning Malphite. Again, that has been from the first pick side, which was red side in both games. So we'll just have to wait and see how this one is going to pan out. But I would imagine that we do get the Malphite ban, which might leave other stuff open. Orianna Azir has been traded in bans so far. Pantheon Corki was banned and then it was picked. And Mbessa was another one that was on the ban list.
Yeah, they saw it coming. Yeah, not too much of a surprise that he gets banned out. And the thing is, you may think, well, what else could the Sylas ban be predicating? Well, Alistair's also been taken out by Fearless.
Yeah.
That's normally one of the other things that you like.
Even Gnar is gone as well.
Yeah. So they will take out the Mbessa as well. I mean, kind of take stock of some of the picks that are open and available. The mid lane. Azir and Orianna have been banned throughout the series, and they are both open. So now, Yukal and Scout, Yukal is the one who gets to choose which he wants. If he doesn't care, he can take something else, but he is saying, I want Orianna. And Nongshim said, well, you can have it, but you're not getting knocked in with it.
Yeah, that's fine. I think a lot of our teams will still prioritize Orianna. You don't have to. You could pick Azir. If that's what you're feeling, Yukal is an excellent Azir player.
And I wonder, on the side of Nongshim, do you pick... I was going to say, do you pick Wukong? But they're actually going to go Xin Zhao. And I mean, Xin Zhao Orianna is pretty good, but I think maybe DRX just go Wukong, because I'm thinking you want setup. And some of the setup junglers like Vi, Jarvan, Pantheon, we've seen pretty good with Orianna, but Wukong also works in tandem. Nongshim opting not to snap up the Azir, can obviously just take that later when they get the top and jungle. Wow, we're really just going tank off in the top lane. Okay.
Great. Well, Gwen's gone, so I guess that means, you know.
Yes, I forgot there's only one champion.
Yeah, there is one champion in the game that can tank bust.
Yes. Thank you.
So Gwen is gone, so of course we have to resort to tank versus tank. Sante does come through. Now, what is this jungle that they're going to pick with the Orianna? Because, okay,
they go a different direction. No Wukong, they go Jax. Jax, something we've seen a little bit in the jungle into Xin Zhao specifically.
Yeah.
That Counter-Strike having a lot of value. And you can Leap Strike in with the Bull, so not the best setup, but not terrible. At least you have a dash to combo with it.
Yeah, it's no Teemo.
And Nongshim, we were thinking it would be Azir. We were thinking Surefire. And you know what?
Surely.
We were absolutely correct. Zero doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
The hovers were a bait, as they always are.
We've cast here at the LCK for a very long time. Even if you've never cast a single game at the LCK, you know that Azir's it's just like always picked if it's not banned, especially in this meta and every other meta. So, where are we going now? Because the bottom lanes are wide open.
It's all topside. We're seeing Lucian banned again. Ezreal is also something I think probably going to get banned away. I feel like Sivir has a lot of value here, though. With the big beefcakes to shred through, a lot of frontline.
Any Zyra enjoyers? Zaya's not the most meta, but...
Yeah, I think Zaya when Orianna and Azir can be a little bit uncomfortable at times because of the range. And there's not like that strict dive you have to deal with. But maybe. Not Jhin, please. Do not pick Jhin. Do not. For the love of God, do not pick Jhin.
Ezreal's up.
Yeah, Ezreal is available. So maybe that's something that either gets banned or prioritized here.
Ezreal and Azir. The old Genji combo.
I think it's easier to say what won't be picked than what will be picked. Phalios is also open and available, so you know, maybe Nongshim go towards that. It could just be like if Phalios Ezreal get traded. That's a possibility. But I don't think it'll be Jhin. Definitely won't be Ziggs. Oh, Caitlyn gonna come through. Okay, so longer range pick. Maybe looking to be a little bit of a lane bully. You do have that counter pick and support. Now, what is Jiwoo going to pick here in response? Do you go the Ezreal? Obviously, Ezreal Karma's been taken away. Does go
Jhin
the
Bard.
Does go the Jhin. into a Scion and into a Xin Zhao. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he can damage the other champs. And they have Orianna.
Okay. Well, not the most convinced I've been by a gym pick. But
What are we playing here? Elise?
that would be a Lehen's pick.
Yeah. Just Braum?
Just Braum.
Just Braum.
I mean, you have a lot of champions you can proc it. Not the most impactful into a Bard, but a lot of skirmishing power. Also, once you land the stun, you're getting trapped, right? Underneath that immediately.
Yeah.
So, it definitely feels like Nongshim want to play at range and just C champion, Braum passive, Caitlyn trap, headshot. There you go. There's not a ton of engage in either composition. You know, I feel like it's a hallmark of pro play in general, of just like, we need 7 engage tools in each composition.
Yeah.
We've had so many metas which are like, oh, we need Alistar, we need Raul. And Sheer Fearless has definitely altered that, but I mean, these teams are kind of, oh, both our junglers can dash.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I guess Cassante drags someone in, Sion's got the choo-choo train, but it just doesn't feel like the same reliable engage that these teams often seek to have. So it could end up being a slower mid-game as a result. A lot of setup around the dragon. Both these teams feeling the pressure.
The sign said, you guys are having a hard time referring to the pros, and they're like, we are too. We're having a hard time. The fans are having a hard time. We need a win. They want the win tonight, especially on the side of DRX, who are still awaiting their first. Nongshim versus DRX Game 3. Off we go.
You know, he's not here today, but I know someone who's going to be very upset over this gym pick.
Atlas.
Absolutely. Generally upset by gym picks, but this one specifically, it's going to irk him.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many options.
You know what's the icing on the cake? Is the Braum. Like, picture this scenario. You're in a team fight, right? You're on your 4th shot. You're like, finally, I can put out the big damage. You look at your options in front of you. You have Sion with a shield up and 4 million HP.
Okay, well, we're engaging here. Engage Braum is real.
You have Xin Zhao with his Crescent Guard, cannot take any damage. You have Braum with his shield up, cannot take any damage. You know, not going to feel so good.
Yeah.
And then you just fire your 4th shot at either target, it does nothing. And then you're sat there.
And then you open up for your ult.
You're fumbling with your bullets. You're dropping them on the floor. You're trying to reload.
Oh no, it's so cringe. Oh. And Jiu's been struggling too in some of these early games. I do wonder, you know, for Jin to really pop off, you kind of want to hit that first item spike. You want to get that collector online. You want to start having some really impactful ultimates. But I don't see him having a lot of fun into Caitlyn Bard, or Caitlyn Braum, rather.
Yeah.
Even with the Bard.
Oh, Yukos having some fun, though.
Yep. First pick, Orianna.
He had the choice of the matchup, and it seems he chose well for himself. The Hens does put the passive on that minion, sending a message. Oh! Whew.
Denied the cannon. Cannon? Cannon. I'm pretty sure.
Canyon's not playing today.
Yeah.
But he did
Still
deny,
thinking about his flags.
Yeah. Deny the cannon is pretty big, and one of the annoying things Braum can do.
Oh.
But now doesn't have his shield to protect his AD carry. But honestly, that's on Taeyun.
Worth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The fast call recall. Taeyun gets it. He's like, this is going to be a slow game.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. So not a whole lot going on down there. It's not like you're putting on immense pressure with something like a Kalista Renata. You're doing well, but you can do even better with a call.
Yep.
So just pick it up. Definitely very curious about Willer on the Jax. Because Jax, we don't see it all too often. Can work with the Orianna. It's very reliable engage, but it's not the longest range.
Yeah.
So Leap Strike is, you know, it's fast. You get right onto the target, but it's not like Nocturne where you're ulting 5 screens away.
Kind of need flash as well if you really want to close distance.
Yeah.
I wonder what build we see. Are we gonna see like Dusk and Dawn tech?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Well, he's in the top lane. King gives him the thumbs up.
But he just didn't go for the stun. He's just like, whatever, man.
Rich has like no mana. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of this game is going to look
Hands
like.
didn't block the full shot.
That's fine. Teu's full health.
It didn't do any damage anyway.
He still has 2 procs on his refillable. It's just sitting there like, I don't know, why did I even buy this item?
You know what? Some people might be listening to this and thinking, man, if a Jin main is hearing this, he's probably going to be so... No, the Jin main's going to be like, dude, this is so real.
He knows more than anyone else. He's very aware of the Jin plight.
Yeah. There's some games on Jin where it just feels so good. It's like, I'm doing damage. This doesn't seem like one of them.
Yeah, I mean, there are some targets, you know, but I do think that you have to get through so much in order to access those targets, and you kind of have to be up in their face.
So much beef.
There's a lot of beef, and you kind of need to be in a good spot in the game. I feel like if you fall behind, it's just going to make this problem exponentially worse.
Yeah, especially, I assume he's going to go the build we've all seen, which is like the Ghost Blade Rapid Fire.
Oh.
If we get in the mid game and he's got a Ghost Blade Rapid Fire and Kingan's got like plated steel caps and like whatever armor.
Just plated steel caps. It's good enough.
You know, Kingan presses W and Jiwa puts 4 autos into him and loses to the W. It could happen.
That could happen with his ult especially. Like, King just sits in the front with the shield up. Like, I don't think he breaks through the shield. Maybe on the 4th shot.
Maybe.
With 2 items. But yeah, top lane's kind of, okay, well, Rich wants to take an aggressive trade. He's not going to hit that Q. And so, you know, he did chunk Kingan for about 20% of his health.
I think Kingan's just getting cut. He's like, what? Like, Willa came for the gank and he's like, huh? And now Rich all lit. He's like, I'm going all out. And he's like, huh?
He's a bit confused.
He's like, dude, we're just supposed to auto each other for grasp stacks. Like, keep chill. Like, what's your problem?
It's a PvE game, actually.
Yeah. You know, people get very upset when you play in like a mostly PvE game and that has like slight bits of PvP and people engage in the PvP. They do not.
Yeah.
They do not enjoy that at all.
Such a tryhard.
Stop ruining my experience.
Yeah.
That's what Rich is doing right now.
I'm just trying to farm, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can name a lot of games nowadays that are like that, including, obviously here, LCK, League of Legends. Or just hanging out.
It's just getting up.
Him playing with the Braum is so sad.
Honestly, I think that's the best part about picking the Braum, because like Braum in a pod is like, you know, I mean, you can block this stun, but it's not like the most fun matchup, and he's ranged into melee, right?
Yeah.
But it just in a Jhin, it's just so funny.
He's very good against everything else.
Yeah.
And, you know, even into the Bard, you know, if something goes wrong, you know, let's say a couple of guys get stasis in the wrong spot and Lehens is not, he can just kind of jump in, throw up a shield, maybe help him out a little bit. Code's voice being utilized here by DRX. I am very curious what he's saying, because I have no idea what you would, what would you say? What would you say on this? In this game?
I'd console you. I'd be like, it's okay. I'm sorry that you had to play Jhin. It's fine.
I wonder whose idea that was. Oh boy.
Guys, once you get... You'll work out.
You know, exercise is really
What would I
good for
say?
you.
Maybe it's related to grubs. I don't know. At this point, what is there specifically to talk about?
That's why I'm so curious, like the timing of it as well, you know? Maybe because nothing's happening, we'll actually get a listen in. Okay, burn the flash, nicely done. Avoids the Braum gank.
Yeah. Oh.
And now Taeyeon actually is gonna get
nice
stunned
start.
up. The second shot does miss, but the 4th does. Okay, they're gonna set it up. And that was very sad. I think he's just dead. It doesn't really matter, but, you know, it made him look a little silly.
Yeah.
Willer is going to pick up first blood in the bottom lane.
It did make it look like G1 and Andal haven't practiced Jhin Bard that much, but they did still get the kill. So, you know, Willer being there definitely helping out. Lehens has just decided he has a mission this game. You know, the mission, is it destroying the Nexus? Not necessarily. Is it winning the game? Not necessarily.
이거 우리 내리면서 그냥 캐틀 잡는 거 한번 봐봐. 사이온 때문에 이쪽 할 필요 없어, 얘들아, 이거. 그 바텀 직전으로 가서 다 먹고 직전 가면 될 것 같아, 이거 대놓고.
I can't even hear him.
Okay.
It's
Well.
like a little bit too quiet.
아직에서 이모빙이다. 아직 3분인데 안 갈.
Maybe next time I could take off my headset. I think I might hear a little bit better.
Maybe kill Caitlyn.
It was a lot of bottom lane talk from what I could tell. Timing on this one, not the best, but it's okay.
Yeah. Andal clean with the stuns, though. Fierce Blood, you know, a little pickup there. Oh, did see something go on mid in the replay.
Yukal no
wow,
flash.
Yukal is very dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ain't no escaping that one. W hit, though. That was pretty good. Sponge not having the flash, so you're happy with that.
We have another coach voice. What'll it be this time?
They're really getting early mileage out of this, you know. And I'm expecting this game to go slow, right? I'm expecting this to be a long-haul game, so you're burning those coach voices early. Longshim are saving them.
Yeah, I think they're saving them forever. I don't think they're going to use them. I was actually talking about with Wolf about this during the break, and you know, the coaches have to decide ahead of time whether or not they're in the booth, you know, where they can't see the enemy vision and stuff, or if they're behind. So I assume a lot of the teams, like even KT, right, when they were up 14,000, like their coaches are just not in the booth, so they can't actually utilize coach voice.
Yeah.
Because their coaches are in the green room, they can see all of the vision. It's not fair if they use coach voice and they like run into the booth and say, hey, they're doing Baron! Obviously, so yeah, some teams just elect not to use it and they just don't have it available. We talked about this on Poxit. I do feel like it is a tool which can be utilized for good rather than evil. And
you're still going with that for evil line.
You know, they should use it, I would say. Sponge is in a little bit of trouble here. Lehens is getting in there, though, and is going to land the stun on a Willer, who maybe did go a little bit too far. But they get the kill with the Shockwave, and Taeyoon from miles away is able to take down Willer. It's a little bit of a trade there.
Yeah, able to get the trap down underneath the stunned Jax and able to trade 1-for-1. So I think Longshim ultimately okay with that. Yeah, I think the argument maybe some of the teams is that they don't know if it's going to be a permanent feature in the long term.
Yeah.
So relying too heavily on it could be to your detriment. It's interesting. We'll see. We'll see how much of a permanent feature it is, how much value teams are getting from it. Some teams obviously have been more keen on it than others. Hard to say. We'll get a replay of this. So Sponge gets chunked out pretty hard even before his ult gets that much value. So obviously he pops it here, but he's already like less than half HP. But the big thing is, stun comes in, and then Taeyoon gets a trap, so even when he kites away, he can just slide in, and the headshot is still there to be picked up.
Yeah.
So easy kill there.
Biggest gold lead currently actually Taeyoon over Jiwoo. Second, though, is the jungle. Willer able to pick up the 2 kills.
And he has gone Triforce, no Dusk and Dawn shenanigans. Which I think is probably right. I haven't seen many Jaxes going Dusk and Dawn.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. It would let you proc your ult very quickly, like the empowered auto. But I think definitely less, you don't get the big, powerful Triforce procs. Because you're not going to have that much AP on the Jax.
It would feel pretty bad to lose those, I think, because maybe we're trying to kill Sponge again. This is looking like a replay, although Yukal is getting engaged on Sponge. Very much isolated, but now he's got Lehens coming on over as Taeyoon is just in there. He just dies like he was in the banana brush behind enemy lines, and that means that DRX is going to pick up a double kill. Nice little try from Andal to land the double stun there. Not quite going to work out. Yukal having a lot of protection here, and with the help of Andal, she'll be able to chase down Lehens. Andal just doesn't want to take the kill, and he won't have to. There's a nice little fight, goes the way of DRX.
Scout did so much there to try and turn it around, but I mean, Taeyong was just in the middle of nowhere.
아래쪽부터 바로 하고 이거 싸움 보자. 오케이 오케이.
Look for a fight.
아니 집 갔다 와서 바로 아래쪽부터 잠그고 게임에 위로 다음 턴에 위에 먹어도 돼 얘들아. 확인. 이번 형 중요해. 용 못할 수 있을 듯.
So yeah, they're just saying to Willard to go to the bottom side and look for a fight. Probably to fight over the Drake, which is very important. That is something they said.
That's all that coach voices use now, though, so...
Yeah.
They get a lot of value out of this one, though. Yeah, Taeyong just kind of walks up and ends up getting stunned and dies. So... I think the ult from Sponge didn't help and kind of knocked the Jax into him. And then Scout honestly gets insane. Like, this fight would have been so doomed if he'd not gotten this insane value here to turn it around and get 2 kills. And they actually managed to get back on the map and get the dragon. So, Scout clutching this fight out, ultimately, able to find massive value.
Oh, trying to set up here. We got 2. A little bit caught, but again, there's so much to get through, but Sponge is kind of left by his lonesome in the front. Lahen's not able to block for him. A little bit overextended were Nongshim after the fight. Well, after the dragon, I should say.
Yeah, definitely think they should have just backed away as soon as possible, but an overstay leads to them getting punished. Herald up soon, so maybe just going to translate straight into that.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Scout is here.
He will scout them out.
He's really trying to up those damage numbers.
Yeah, that he is.
We have a TP from UCal to the top lane.
Yeah, Herald pretty gone. We will see Taeyong able to push the wave out, so they won't immediately be able to slam it mid with a wave. Is DRX with an edge in terms of gold, but still close in this game. And it's just, yeah, as you said, Willow with a massive lead, getting a lot of these kills in this fight. So a lot of value in this Jax.
Yeah. There's a lot of times, jungle Jax specifically, you know, you don't have as much farm, you don't have as many levels, but in this meta you get more farm, and especially with early kills, you're feeling good. This fight, again, just an overextension. Sponge kind of left out to dry.
He just gets popped. You know, has to kind of go in on the play to peel for his team, and I think just hung around a little bit too long.
Yeah. Not much you could do. Just gotta be not in that position. Easily said in hindsight, but we'll have to wait and see how they do from here on out. Lahen's is going for a little walk in the river.
Oh, G was actually not going the Ghost Blade Rapid Fire build.
He's got Storm Razor. We're trying to get on top of Lahen's. I feel like Ondel has ult every 2 seconds. Like, it's always up. And they're throwing everything into this Braum, but Nongshim are just really not grouping together as a team. It's well, over and over, like, these individual picks. Now it's a double kill for UCal. We had multiple double kills for Willer, and now UCal's getting fed. This is becoming a problem for Nongshim.
The thing is, so much of Nongshim is auto-attack based. And the Jax just, you're able to play so aggressive on the back of your Counter-Strike. So the initial portion of the fight, there's just very little counterplay. The Braum can't do much, you can't stack up the passive, you can't really get those stuns rolling. You need the longer fights to really get the value out of it, but by that point you've already started losing members. So I think Nongshim are really struggling to find headway here, and are starting to fall further and further behind.
Yeah, and it just feels like, you know, we got this roaming death squad of, like, Ondil sets up the fight, and then you have, you know, Wheeler's right there, UCal's right there. They've got all their pieces together for setups on fights.
What's crazy here is that, like, Sponge doesn't want to get close to give him, like, a jump out, because he's like, I don't want to get caught too. And then he jumps in. Like, either help him to jump out, or leave. Pick one. But don't, like, let him get caught and die, and then jump in. That is not the play.
Yeah, I think we can pretty easily see that one. As, yeah, UCal gonna be slowed up here. Doesn't have his flash, actually. Nice little shockwave, but even Exhaust gonna be utilized trying to get him down. They give the kill and the shutdown gold over to Scout, who's now 4-1. Still behind UCal, funnily enough. But he definitely needed that kill.
Yeah, nice pick and return. Finally, it feels like Nongshim getting something, at least, when it's just been DRX getting kill after kill after kill. Doesn't really translate to anything, and UCal has flash about to come up, so it's not like there'd been a summoner there before this dragon. We'll see a replay off that. Yukal just a bit overextended hitting this turret, and yeah, I think at this point, not much you can do. It's also funny because Andal portals away, but the portal just gives a route in for Lens and Sponge, so... doesn't work in his favor.
Yeah. And then he Mega Blast cones his way to safety. That's a Mega Disengage cone.
Yeah. Shadow Flame picked up for Yukal, so he's very strong on this spike. I'm not sure if Scout is close to second item. But if you look at the items on DRX, you look at Willa and you look at Yukal, and they feel very scary going into this dragon fight.
Yeah, it's
honestly,
2,000 gold.
I would consider not contesting this. It'd actually be on my mind right now.
Yeah. I mean, his first Chemtech Drake, and you've already split the first couple of Drakes, so this isn't even like Soul Point.
Yeah.
It's one Chemtech Drake.
It's just, especially like having completed items versus, you know, Giant Spell Blasting Wand. It's not it. No, they're fighting it. Okay. Okay, they did get the Rylai's in. Sponge is a lot weaker than Willa, though.
And the TP just to get engaged on, and the setup here is gigantic once again. Scout has a nice 1v1 versus Jiu, though, who is out of the fight. But we got Rich kind of going insane mode on this backline in the actual fight. As it looks like they will eventually take out King, and Scout does get another kill, though. 5th for him. And the Chemtech Drake, of course, did go to DRX.
It's like they're late there, so like I initially thought they weren't going to contest it because they were so late. And then they rush in just to fight. The dragon's already gone, and they just get engaged on. They burn all their summoners and lose the fight. Scout, I mean, actually does a good job because Jiu, I'm not sure what Jiu is doing. But the main fight, Taeyeon ends up so close. You're a Caitlyn. How are you like in melee range to get shockwaved with your entire front line? I don't know.
Not
but
the first
Taeyeon
time.
makes a bit of a flub. Scout, I feel like, is just trying to do everything this game. But DRX, they know their objective. They know what they're doing. Other than the little mistake from Jiu, everyone doing what they want. And we literally had 4 flashes in that fight from Nongshim. And I'm going to be honest, I think the only reason Kingen didn't flash was because it wasn't up.
Yeah, I mean, he did die as well, so not the best. Yukal is topping the damage charts, and it's not like he's playing it to tank Rek'Sai or anything. As now we get another engage onto Lehens, who is just out in the middle of nowhere, just dies to Willer, who is not going to stop there, continues to chase, and even gives the kill over to Yukal, who's now on a killing spree himself. I mean, DRX are just being gifted pick after pick, and they're playing it well.
Yeah, they're playing so aggressive, and now they're going to stop the Baron, and having taken out Scout, strongest member of Nongshim, I think this is just an easy Baron.
Yeah.
A game that was feeling close for a good portion of the mid game has just spiraled out of control in the back of play after play from this Jax leading the charge, and a pick that, you know, we haven't seen that often in the LCK. Occasionally as a counter pick that Xin Zhao is just paying off so well for DRX right now. And I feel like they're on the cusp for the first win. And we have this Braum. I think Braum is a pick that you just often feel so safe on. You're so tanky, you have a dash, but he's just dying on repeat.
And the fact that Scout dies under his turret, too.
Yeah. Doesn't quite have the ult available. It's a rough feeling right now. Having to deal with a Baron already. 4,500 the gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how the Jhin might be in a little bit of trouble, but they don't even need the Jhin. Jhin is just like set up for the actual carries, and the Jhin himself is in a not bad spot.
Also, he's gone LDR seconds. He actually has good pen.
He's doing damage. It's actually happening. And here we go. The setup comes in once again with the Jax and the Orianna, maybe this time a little bit too deep, as Sponge was actually able to zone for the rest of the team as well, and Scout does barely live.
Yeah, that's not a good trade. Will it overstepping a little bit there?
Yeah.
And a big shutdown given over.
But they did the cool combo, Ox.
Yeah. Okay, here's the Jhin ult.
It's a zoning ult. Just gonna push them back. Gets them the turret. It actually does have value here.
Yeah, not the most damage, not the best value ultimate, but, you know, DRX able to push forward and force them away.
Hell?
Okay, good peel.
It's okay, Rich is here. It was all a bait. No, Rich has to flash. That's pretty unfortunate. A bit of a mistake. Yukal did not see the cupcake on the ground.
I will say saving the Orianna flash pretty massive there.
Yeah.
So credit to Rich.
This
Kingen
game is just all over the place. Like, what are we doing? We got a TP coming in now again. And Rich is like, yeah, hello. They still have Baron, by the way. DRX.
Okay, that was a little goofy. We'll get the replay of this fight. So ult comes in on a sponge. Willa goes for the combo with the flash, but it's an Azir, and you don't one-shot him, so he just shoves you on a turret, and then they focus you down. And in return, you get the Xin Zhao, who's pretty worthless at this point.
Yeah.
So not an even trade.
Doesn't really exist.
Yeah. King did just TP in, so he has a Giga Shield that they're trying to punch through. Willa's hunting for Scout.
Here we go again. That one is not going to land. Andil has been the bane of this Nongshim team here in Game 3. It's not been fun for them to deal with this Bard. And he just always seems to have the Tempered Fate up. But looks like the Baron push is done for now. They still have 10 seconds left. And a lot of fiddling around here in the mid lane right before this Chemtech Drake is about to spawn. And DRX, I mean, they've got, you know, they've got Cassante, they have Orianna, they have Bard, they have some shielding and healing within this composition.
Yeah, in other words, Chemtech's full value. I mean, and also you'll just take it, right?
Yeah.
Nongshim unable to contest. And it's definitely an uphill battle from this point for Nongshim from here. This Orianna, I think, is really starting to become a major issue. Because you look at the items from the Azir in comparison.
Death Cap.
Yeah, you got 10 stack Dark Seal, you got the Death Cap, Shadow Flame, the Blackfire Torch.
Yeah,
and
the upgraded
swords. That is a lot of damage, a lot of burst. Whereas Scout's build, like, he has sustained damage, but it feels like a lot more utility with like the upgraded Merc Treads and the heal from the Crypt Balloon and the ability haste and the slow. Like, they're not bad items, they're just, he's not one-shotting people.
Yeah. Whereas the one-shot combo maybe next time actually does one-tap Scout. Because last time we saw like the flash on him from Willer. Oh, he's got GA now.
Yeah, he can kind of go. I mean, GA isn't the craziest value in a Caitlyn, but when you're ahead, it doesn't even matter that you get trapped out of it because they don't have time to punish, really. Like, you respawn, you're trapped. It's like, well, they're probably dead by the time you respawn anyway.
Orianna's such a huge threat as long as you can just go face first into it and not really care and try to set up a combo onto a good target.
We're getting a lot of posturing mid. I did feel like this game was going to be a bit slower, and to be fair, it has been faster than I expected, but it's a lot of posturing around the mid lane from both teams.
A little bit
just hanging out.
Traumatized by all the posturing, just remembering Game 2 of T1 versus KT.
You know what that is? Posture check. Make sure you're sitting up. Yep.
Oh, look at me. I'm like, my leg is crossed, which is not good.
I was too. Yeah. It's been a long day, Brendan.
Bent over, you know.
Got good posture, you know.
It is pretty important. You know, my back was kind of hurting.
Oh, really?
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, you're already a father, so you gotta look out for that stuff.
The second, you know, the second I have a child, it's like all of a sudden my body's like, nope.
Yeah.
No thanks. I'm out. And to be fair, I should be exercising more, so it's probably part of it. But, you know, the whole thing about having a baby is that you don't really have a lot of time, so it's a fantastic excuse not to exercise.
That's fair.
Not again, Lahens, please.
He has a little jump target. Jump to Scout!
All right, well, they're going to be caught. We got TP coming in, and that is going to sail wide.
Ults?
Yeah, I don't know. But this is a Scion that is TPing straight into them and held in place for a very long period of time. Kingen just going to flash that, doesn't want to get too low.
Okay. Well, they're there, and the Baron's up, so I think Nongshim might just move over to it. This could be the place where Nongshim find a good fight. If they're able to make it in here,
like
contest.
Scout is so much of their damage, and he doesn't have his ult anymore, and Sponge is so far behind. Like, look at this. He can't even approach. He's getting killed from miles away by the Jhin. Showing some value here. As now trying to go in onto Kingen. He is very tanky, and they fully peel off of the Baron. So, to be honest, not the most value there on the turn from DRX.
Getting chunked, though, by the Baron is the thing. Yeah. So even though they obviously chunk out Kingen, it ends up being a situation where they can't really continue the Baron either.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's so hard to do Baron, I feel, on this season. Unless you get like an actual meaningful advantage in terms of kills. I think they're probably just looking towards Seoul as their route into finishing this game.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot more gold achieved on those plates. I mean, it's still a little bit for Nongshim, but they haven't been able to crack that mid tower, I think, is the big one that they're kind of struggling with.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem. Still has a couple of plates on that one.
Yeah.
But the crystalline overgrowth. Yeah, Sponge is not really a champion in this game. Like, he's just kind of an extra frontliner.
He just ults and just hopes for the best.
Yeah. He's the one saying it is what it is now. Although the rest of his team do have ways to actually deal damage. Even Taeyun, I mean, he's still ahead. You know, he has nearly 4 items, 3.5. And, you know, the Azir up to 3. He's looking for Zhonya's, though, now, so looking to survive as long as possible in these fights and deal that sustained damage.
Just difficult to approach. You can see Sponge clearing some vision around the Baron. But I just feel like Will is so ready just to jump in.
Oh! Well, if nobody gets in front of the Jhin, you're going to have some problems. As now, once again, the Bard ult is in there. The exhaust on the Willer, though. The combo isn't there. They don't have the damage. There's a flash away and a big shuffle on the 2. Gets you Cal immediately. And Nongshim are not out of this game yet. As here on the backside, you see that GA into the trap you were talking about.
Headshot!
And the headshot does come in, double kill, but it is still 3-on-3. Rich still doing quite a lot. Taeyun actually hit by the 4th shot. But still winning this one is Nongshim. And let's see where they decide to go. Will they risk a Baron, I wonder?
I think you go Dragon, I think you go Baron, but Scout just refusing to lose this game. This is the man possessed. The shuffle was massive. And, you know, I was saying, I don't know if the GA is really going to be punished here. Oh, the knock-up.
Well, they're just going to come in here, face check, and hope they can win in the 2v3. Doesn't look very likely, based on what we're seeing here, although they're gonna get away. And Jiu is kiting this one out pretty well, but he does get straight up ulted by the Scion as another missed stun from King, but it just does not matter. And that's a shutdown. Some extra gold for Taeyun. Look at that, he's 2,500 ahead. He is so fed in this game now.
He got a lot of gold from that. And yeah, I was wondering, is the GA going to be punished? I didn't think it would. I thought DRX was so far ahead, but you saw there, the trap out of the GA immediately punished. Look at the replay. This initially looked so bad for Nongshim. The rapid fire auto into the stun, the follow-up coming. But Scout, an absolute hero here, sees the window to go in, catches Yukal after the flash, and he's immediately punished, buys time with the stasis. They have to be ready for it. The trap catches the GA afterwards. So even after the counter-strike, Taeyun waits for the headshot.
Yeah. So the 2 fed guys on the side of DRX, the Orianna and the Jax, are just nullified so much.
And with Taeyun dead, they're doing the Baron. This is still risky. No flash from Willer, but he can't leap over the wall.
Oh, they're going for the ult on in with the Scion. They want Yukal. They're not going to get it. And Kingan is pulled over, but this guy is so tanky right now. He is flashing on top of Yukal. They desperately want to take out this Orianna. They're not going to have it.
So much committed there, but unable to find the Orianna, and Jiu is now back. This game's gotten so scrappy. Nongshim trying to force their advantage, but don't find it. I think they have to back away now. Taeyun's doing a lot of damage, that is for sure, but so a lot of people in this game.
Yeah. Feels like maybe they're just going to look for the Scout ult angle once again as they're engaged. We talked about how there's not a lot of engage. Oh, Willer, not like this, buddy. Oh, no, he is going to be able to hop away, but that is a super low jungler, and now you just start the Baron.
Yeah, I think he's just too low to get in for the smite, so they'll start it up.
The giant wave in top lane, too. It feels like an Ocean have control right now. And it's okay, we are going to get the Bard ult down, but there's just no smite. Zondil doesn't have it either, and that is just going to be the smite down pretty late, actually. Went down to like 600 there, but still able to get it done.
Oh, Willer's coming back over, so they're just going to force their way out here. You can't ult!
Okay, it's going to catch Sponge. That's not what you're looking for. And there's the scoop on Yukal, but the damage a lot slower, and immediately goes down Scouts. As Rich, he's kind of going in alone, though. That's not going to work out. A couple of kills go to Nongshim after the fact.
Again, Scout with the clutch plays. He trades his life for Yukal, but he doesn't care. He knows how strong this Orianna is. He knows what his job is. He sets it for Taeyun, and he says, here's the Orianna on a silver platter. They get the Baron, they get out. And honestly, Sponge left the smite late. I think it's the right call. Don't mess around with it. Don't try and do it exactly 1400. If there's no smite near, play it safe. No one's doing 600 damage if the Jhin ults down. And here he grabs Yukal. And yeah, he dies, but the Orianna is just such a relevant threat that you're happy to take that trade.
Yeah.
Taeyun grabs the Bard, and Rich just gets deleted.
The real damage carry right now is Taeyun as well.
Man, this has been a day of throws on such a monumental level. And this is the point where we're starting to see the Jhin struggle, because Taeyun is shredding everyone. The traps are feeling super relevant. He is cutting through people. Jiwoo is not.
I mean, there's too much to cut through.
There's so much bulk, and there's so many things.
It was fine when they were ahead.
There's so many things that block damage.
Yeah.
There's the W from Kingin, there's the shield from the Hens, there's the ult from Sponge. Sponge is not very useful, but he can press his ultimate, and that buys time.
He's doing his job. It's not the flashiest job, but it's fine. Okay,
Oh,
they're going to catch Taeyun. They're going to catch Taeyun, and the front line, he gets shockwaved and killed! And DRX are right back in it. Sponge is just dead as well, and now the Jhin is opening up. Willer is unkillable, and he's going to hop on top of them, and immediately Gnomeshim are falling like a house of cards, as it looks like Kingin will also be taken out. And just like that, TP in a mid lane, DRX have their eyes set on the mid lane.
And that's game. That's enough. And you look at the summoner spells. Taeyun's flash has just come back up. He only needed just a matter of 15 seconds for that summon to become available. And DRX pounced on the opportunity. Andal finds the window on this Bard again and punishes this Fed carry. Lehen's the last one alive. 13 seconds on the Caitlyn. I don't think it's enough.
Just a wild day of games, and it ends with this one. We thought we knew who was throwing, but it was thrown right back. An excellent play from DRX to pull it right back. And there you go. They take their first victory of the LCK Cup 2026 in very active fashion.
Man, this was such a back and forth. This was such a chaotic series. And honestly, we sometimes say this about series, like it could have gone either way. This one really felt like it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
And I think series like those come down to these just critical moments, these key points where players find opportunities to be clutch. And honestly, when I think of that third game, I think about the Bard and the amount of tempered fates that were just connecting at key moments. And even when we have this big comeback, we have Scout stepping up on the Azir, setting up for the Caitlyn. It was, in the end, it was that tempered fate landing. The flash was down. It was seconds away from being back up. But it comes through. Will is there to punish. And they will get their first series win. And it feels deserved. It feels like this is a team who's had to fight to get their first series win, fight really hard. But they've definitely earned it.
Jiwoo showing off his new org in DRX, beating his old one in Gnomeshim. And Andal as well. Absolute amazing performance on the Bard. And, you know, he's slowly been picking it more and more. We always talk about Carrier's Bard, but Andal, he's getting better. Like, the more I see him, he's picking it pretty often, and he's just getting more and more comfortable and more impactful. So, nice to see that growth within the support player of DRX, and absolutely critical for this game. I mean, if you don't have Bard in this one, so many less picks, so much less of a lead that they threw, which eventually, like, I'm convinced that gold isn't real.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's today or if it's a patch thing, or it just doesn't seem to matter anymore.
It feels a little bit fake, honestly. The thing is, it feels like 80 carries, you know, there's such an injection of gold anyway to 80 carries. Like, you're still getting loads of items because of the quest and cashback. Top laners just end up with levels anyway. And it just feels like it comes down to these critical moments. Like, at the end of the day, you know, you can be fed as you want. If you're getting blown up, you're getting blown up. And it feels like it's hard to end, even with a big gold lead. You know, Baron isn't this free objective you can take, and even with Baron, it's not necessarily easy to break through structures. Soul feels like the big thing, but if it's not a good Soul, it's hard to necessarily translate it. And even when it is, like we saw the Hextech Soul earlier, right? That felt like a real game ender. But, you know, this was a Chemtech Soul game. So many moments of this one, so many matches
fight.
with the Tempered Fate. This one was, though, the one where really Scout showed up. And it must be honestly a bit heartbreaking for him. But credit to him, showing up big since he's rejoined the LCK.
Yeah. It's one of the big highlights from Nongshim that we said we were looking forward to seeing more of. And Scout, he trades his life here, does it well, says, well, Taeyoon's the guy who's going to carry. I can trade for you, Cal. That's just fine. And then this. They're saying, okay, he doesn't have flash.
Yeah. And I mean, the timing's perfect. Yeah, he actually gets him when he's channeling the Peacemaker, so he's not going to net. He tries to net, but is pulled back in by the Shockwave. And again, Flash is definitely going to save you there, but it was... I was looking at the timing, it was like 5-10 seconds away when he died. So the timing they had on the timer, perfect.
Yeah.
Very precise. And such a big difference maker, so very clutch to go for that. Because if they'd waited, 10-15 seconds, they couldn't have made that same play.
Yeah. And Taeyoon just flashes the Temper Fate. They never get any setup. There's no wombo combo with Yucal and Willer. And the gold graphs we've had today are just mind-blowing. This one, we thought it was thrown by DRX. All right, they gave it over, and the Nongshim Baron push was coming in, and then they just got barded.
And, you know, in terms of POM, I think there's a couple of good suggestions. I know who I voted for, obviously. I mean, of course I know who I voted for. But, yeah, I do wonder who it's going to be.
It's going to be Anvil.
I think that's the right call.
I think that's the right call for sure.
Yeah, I think the Nico game he also had a great impact on. I think the Bard game, I mean, I talked about his Tempered Fates. I think it was crazy. If we do see a spread of votes, I think Willer also, like on the Vi, he was leading the charge, and on the Jax, he was massive.
Absolutely.
So I think there are other good votes, right? You know, it was a team effort, but I think that Bard really left a lasting impression. When I think about that game 3, I think about all those Tempered Fates. So
it just always seemed like it was on or off cooldown, rather. Like he always had it,
you know,
every fight.
It's one of those things that you see a lot of them when you throw it out, and if you time it wrong or it's like a long range thing, sometimes they just walk out of it. So the fact that he was consistently landing them, it's not easy to do. So credit
you have to be exactly the right range where you're not too far, where you know they can dodge it, but you're not too close, so it's obvious, right? He was like right behind the wall, which was close enough, and they couldn't really see him, and he just set it up perfectly.
The
like,
one
I
he
think
got
for sure.
The last one when he's like channeling the Peacemaker, that timing was just, I mean, game winning. That's
it couldn't be better. Game winning for the side of DRX, and I'll hand it over to Deer for the translation of the POM interview.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Deer for the POM interview translation, joined by Andel on the side of DRX. Congratulations! You just secured your first victory and also the very first LCK Cup support POM. How do you feel? I didn't know that this was the first support POM. Rather than, you know, being happy about the POM, I'm just really, it feels great to win. And in game 1 with the Vi Kaisa, it looked like you guys figured out how to counter Jace. So you were piloting Nico here, so what was the key point of this comp? It was Kaisa Nico. And we felt like if the laning phase goes pretty well, we could actually just go ahead and translate into a good team fight and then win through there. And after that, in game 3, your Bard was absolutely wonderful. You got over 90% KP, which is a big contribution to DRX's victory today. So it just felt really good playing throughout the game. And your ult was on point, so can you walk us through what happened? Bard as a champion, you just have to be really proactive. So you have to make the shot calls and you have to make the moves and execute things. So I think you just have to wait for your team to just have faith that your team will follow up with you. It looks like everyone should consider banning the Bard away from you now on. And lately we're seeing some diversity in support picks, like enchanters, tank support. So since you have to pull off a wide pool of champions, are there any challenges? Personally, I don't think there are any challenges. I think it's even more fun that we're seeing so many different support champions.
운동 많이 되고 있나요?
So how is it working out with your new partner, Jiwoo?
나가고 있을까요?
Yeah, he's really working me out. So what's contributing to your development? I think Jiwoo, after he joined DRX, he has actually changed his playstyle a lot. And I think he's actually trying to click in with the team and blend in really well. So I really appreciate his effort. And DRX actually utilizes coach voice the most. And head coach Joker is the one behind these feedbacks. So how helpful are they in reality? Honestly, his feedback does help a lot. Actually, it's a very normal thing for him to constantly give us confidence and feedback that helps us throughout the game. And at the end of the coach voice, he always ends it with fighting. So anything you would like to say? Thank you so much for always navigating and guiding us towards the right path, head coach Joker. And with DRX's victory, the group battle score is now 8-8. You're going to partake in Super Week next week in a best of 5. Are you feeling good about this? Yeah, I think so. And any message to the elder group teams for the Super Week? I hope that we can keep the energy up for a good result fighting. And that's the end of the interview with Andal, and back to the desk. Thank you.